Irish. It's a pure business trip, likely the first of 3 to the state of North Carolina within a month. For Mack Brown, his ascending program, a chance at a milestone win to do something no Tar Heel team has ever done, beat a team ranked in the top 2. Under a Carolina blue sky on Black Friday, welcome to ESPN College Football on ABC, presented by PlayStation 5. And today's ACC game between the undefeated second-ranked Fighting Irish of Notre Dame and the North Carolina Tar Heels. Kenan Stadium, as picturesque as ever, the campus eerily quiet, but welcome, Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit on this football feast of a long weekend. Kirk, this certainly is one of the main courses, and on paper, it's the biggest test remaining before the championship games for any of the first 4 ranked teams.
And it's an exciting matchup because you have Notre Dame that's coming in with this newfound confidence. I think they've been playing with a chip on their shoulder most of this year, and look who they're going up against today. This offense from North Carolina, I would say, is explosive and dynamic as any offense in the country. Should be a great one.
Of course, Ian Book and the Irish had that epic win against Clemson, the double overtime victory. This fumble could have been a part of his legacy that he would have never lived down, but he regrouped and helped reshape that legacy with a game-tying drive. This scramble was huge early in the drive. Then the pretty pass to Avery Smith up the seam to set up the game-tying touchdown run, and of course they won in a double OT.
I mean, he's 28-3 as a starting quarterback. He's had a lot of highs, he's had some lows. I think he is playing right now his best football. He's letting the game come to him. He's not trying to do too much, and I think he trusts the players around him. So when you tune in early in this game, it's going to be about the Notre Dame offensive line, the physicality in their running game with Kyron Williams. But I think the X factor is what the quarterback can do, Ian Book, and the playmakers on the outside. Notre Dame very underrated in the way that group's developed.
Irish with 2 starters out in the offensive line. We'll talk about that. Yeah, Carolina is an absolutely electric offense. They've fallen behind often this year, but this was the biggest second-half rally in school history as Sam Howell eventually threw for 6 touchdowns. That rushing touchdown was enormous late in the game.
And think about this. They're down 21, and they fought back. This young team just kind of has a belief. Hey, let's get to the 4th quarter and have a chance. In fact, Max talked all week about Sam Howell telling his team, if we can get to the 4th quarter within a possession, let's go find a way to do it. Sam Howell has weapons everywhere. I want to see if this Notre Dame defense can match up with the skill and the vertical threat to attack you the way North Carolina can.
That is the question, isn't it? On paper, edge Irish, but the Carolina playmakers against the Notre Dame DBs, that's their chance at an upset here in Chapel Hill this afternoon.
We want to be who we are, and it starts with being physical.
Notre Dame knocks off number 1.
Everybody in the country is going to watch you play.
Sam Howell has done it all today.
You're watching the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week.
21st meeting between Notre Dame and North Carolina. The Irish have won all but 2. You're watching a presentation of the ACC on ESPN and the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week. Our sideline reporter, someone who knows both these teams very well, Katie George from the ACC Network. Hey, Katie.
Hey there. It's been a long 5-year journey for Ian Book at Notre Dame. He's had his ups and downs, but he says he finally feels like he's ascending and he's playing the best football of his career. And that's in part because of the relationship that he has with offensive coordinator Tommy Rees. Book says the 2 share a special bond because not so long ago, Rees played quarterback for the Irish. He understands the pressures that come with the job. So now going from Book's QB coach to OC, there's a comfort and a confidence in one another, and they say it's translating on the field. Brian Kelly says Book is playing at a higher level than he's ever played. They'll certainly need that to continue this afternoon here in Chapel Hill.
It's a good thing when the coach says he's comfortable who he is playing a quarterback, and that confidence only growing after the Clemson win.
And I think that's a great report from Katie to talk about that relationship with Tommy Rees. I mean, it wasn't long ago you and I were standing up here calling games where Tommy was playing, and what an incredible coaching career already.
The coach except coach against Notre Dame. A Hall of Famer facing the Irish for the first time. He won the toss but deferred, so we'll see Book in this Notre Dame offense on this beautiful day. Temperatures in the 60s here in Chapel Hill. Chris Tyree, deep for the Irish. Jonathan Kim, the sophomore, to boot it away for Carolina. This should be fun and crucial in the ACC race and the playoff chase. Touchback, and Book will begin from the 25-yard line. He's a reflective guy, Kirk. He's going to be thinking about the fact that his very first career start was right here in 2017 when Wimbush was injured. He said he was so nervous, remembers everything about it, a comfortable win. But man, has he come light years since then. Going for his 29th win as a starter, he was so clutch down the stretch against Clemson.
And Brian Kelly telling us, you know, he looks like he's just been freed up. And in the past, he was trying to stay within the confines of the offense. And now, you know, he's always been known for his creativity, but he was a little impatient. Now he's more patient working through his progressions. And I think he's just, as Brian Kelly says, he just feels a lot more loosened up and letting it go in this offense.
This is Kyron Williams, one of these stories in college football. From a 4-carry back a year ago out of the doghouse to being the workhorse. Tackled by Collins and Evans. Now there's two changes to the offensive line. Jared Patterson out for the season with a foot. Tommy Kramer, they could get him back. They don't feel in panic mode making the substitutions up there, though.
Josh Love has played some big games. Zeke Correll, on the other hand, is a 5-star, great future. But we're going to find out how good he is early when his first start. North Carolina there got some penetration right through him on that last play.
Book looking to throw on 2nd and 8. So often he's on the move, and he'll make something of it with his legs. It's a short gain. It'll set up 3rd and about 5. Collins pressured him.
I thought Jay Bateman, the defensive coordinator from North Carolina this week, made some great points about he's got a young defense. They've been banged up in the secondary. They're going to play some young people today. They get Kyler McMichael back at corner number 1. And Tony Grimes, keep an eye on this guy, number 20. They're playing a senior in high school. They played in the state of Virginia. They didn't have high school football, so he enrolled and he's playing. They've been holding him back a little bit, playing him sparingly. He's starting against the number 2 team in the country, and he should be a senior in high school getting ready for homecoming.
Amazing. Notre Dame needs 8. They've been an excellent 3rd and long offense this year. Book had a clean pocket, but no one to throw to. Still surveying the field, and now he'll be sacked. Way back at the 7-yard line. Chaz Surratt, the All-American linebacker, got him, and the Irish go 3 and out.
Well, they do a good job of showing pressure. They're known for pressure with Jay Bateman on 3rd down, but instead they end up dropping their linebackers and just sitting back and taking all of his receivers away. Great coverage downfield, nowhere to go for Ian Book, and instead of throwing in.
Jay Bramlett, who did not punt at all in the last game against BC, on for an early punt. And Daz Newsome is a dangerous receiver, comes up and takes it at the 50 and takes an immediate hit. Chose not to fair catch the football, but nothing on the return. Good coverage by that Notre Dame punt coverage team. Look at the weapons on this North Carolina offense. Howell with 6,000 career passing yards, 2 2,000 career rushers in Carter and Williams, 2 2,000-yard career receivers. Only Power 5 team in the last decade that can boast all that firepower.
Think about that. We've seen a lot of great offenses out there. It speaks volumes about their balance. It's not just about Sam Howell and their ability to throw. Really, in this offense, it starts with their running game with Michael Carter and Javonte Williams, who you just showed in that graphic. They get the running game going. You better hold on.
They've got both Carter and Williams in the game, but Howell looking to throw on 1st down. Took a peek, and now he'll muscle forward, gain about 4.
This offense is, you know, predicated upon their ability to run, but you'll see things like this. He had a wide open receiver here on the very first play because these linebackers get caught up in the run game. You see Daz Newsome there streaking down the middle of the field. Rare miss by the talented Howell.
Handoff inside. Michael Carter breaking tackles into the Irish secondary and weaving his way down to the 20. The senior from Florida who comes in averaging 7 a carry.
And they're there. They're there. The gaps are sound, but we're tracking yards after contact today because Notre Dame's been a great tackling team most of this year, and North Carolina backs have been elusive and physical and tough to bring down. Example of it right there.
Now Williams is equally tough to bring down. Bounces off initial contact and gets about 4 before Hayes and Owusu-Koramoah stopped him.
And you said he gets about 4, and it should have been down close to the line of scrimmage, but he's able to shape through an arm tackle, and that's Clark Lee's biggest concern. You've got to commit numbers to this running game, and when you do, it really plays into the hands of how Phil Longo wants to attack you with his quarterback and with the skill on the perimeter.
All these weapons, they're very effective red zone offense. Howell has to elude pressure, still alive, and now will scramble. Makes a cut, lowers the shoulder, and still fighting. It'll be first and goal before Hamilton wrestled him down.
I thought Ogundeji had a chance to bring him down. You're not going to see this typically from Sam Howell. Normally, he's just going to be taken down, but he shows outstanding athletic ability, the balance. He got the left hand down, and he ends up picking up the first down. If I'm Clark Lee right now, when I get my defense over, guys, we got to get into this game, and we've got to get physical. We cannot slip these tackles.
Carolina with a first and goal in the 5th play of this opening drive. Howell from the pocket, bumping into lineman, now flips it over the head of De'Ami Brown.
And they just kind of pushed the line back into his face, and surprised he didn't try to roll away from that pressure. He was very determined to put the ball out there to Brown to give him a chance. They like the matchups when they get their receivers isolated against these Notre Dame corners. They think they can win in those matchups.
Like the matchups for the backs as well. And Williams is to the right of Howell. He's got the football, looking to make a cut, running into heavy traffic. He'll lose yardage. And so the Irish defense forcing a 3rd and goal. Drew White and Adebiola on the stop.
Yeah, good penetration there. Looks like Howard Cross, who's an athletic defensive lineman that rotates in. Notre Dame actually bringing in 5 new players for this 3rd down early in the game, trying to make sure they have the right personnel on the field against what Sam Howell is working with. He's got a 1 tight end, 1 back, 3 receiver look.
Howell, long throw to the corner of the end zone, jump ball, touchdown! Emory Simmons beats Bracy, and the Tar Heels draw first blood on their opening drive.
But Dalen Hayes got in there right as he released the ball. But, you know, you talk about all these receivers, you don't really mention Simmons very much. But there's a matchup against Bracy. Ball is underthrown. How about the adjustment, the body control by Emory Simmons to come back and high point that ball to take it away from Bracy, and a potential turnover and interception in the end zone.
You're right. We've talked about all the playmakers. That's the first touchdown reception of the season for Emory Simmons, just his 12th catch. Got a win on the edge. That battle clearly goes to North Carolina.
I mean, Chaffee Brown, De'Ami Brown, Daz Newsome, maybe Walston tight end. You got the backs coming out of the backfield. Bo Corrales is back, who's been out the last 4 games, and instead it's Emory Simmons. Gives you an idea of the depth they have.
Grayson Atkins on for the conversion. So the sack for the Tar Heel defense on 3rd down sets up great field position, and they take it half the field, 50 plays in 7 yards. You know, setting up the touchdown right here was Carter. Again, tough to get to the ground. The Irish couldn't do it. And got him down into the red zone. And then the long throw and the first touchdown catch of the year for Simmons. Book and the Irish will have to answer now. Down 7. Fast start, nothing new for the Tar Heels. They've now scored a first drive touchdown in 7 of their 9 games. And number 7, huge, running and throwing. Tyree will let it go. And now Notre Dame, a few minutes after their opening series, ended in a 3-and-out. Kirk, now they take the field down 7-0, and Kelly maybe becoming aware his defense has its hands full today.
Yeah, and I think a big part of what they wanted to do was not just control things up front, but control the clock. It's been a real strength of theirs all year, is rely on not just the running game, but keeping Sam Howell and all that offensive firepower on the sideline. But right now it's more about, hey, let's do what we can do. Let's execute. Let's score. Let's move the ball. Get a few first downs.
Empty backfield, 5 receivers set on first down. Tar Heels rush 4. Book flips it across the middle, and the catch is made. Crossing is Javon McKinley, big rangy receiver, about 10 yards.
They've got some receivers that can make plays downfield. Physical, big receivers. McKinley, 88. Skoranek, 11. I think everybody thinks the strength is the tight ends, but it's not just the blocking. This true freshman, 87, you're going to see him make plays today. Michael Mayer and Tremble, 24. These guys have got to get involved in the passing game, make those linebackers cover.
Both in there now on 2nd and 2. Kyren Williams hammers forward. Again, one of these stories, a guy who has just become a complete running back.
Yeah, incredible story. And I think that we were talking at the break about the concern at center with Correll, who's a great player. And this last play is an example of what they're going to have to guard against is penetration, being able to, they're sliding. Jay Bateman told us coming in, we're going to try to test this guy. It's his first start. You lose a guy, he called one of the best players on their offense at center, and Jared Patterson. Let's test this young guy with a lot of movement, trying to slant an angle and affect his communication.
Williams motions back into the backfield. He gets Notre Dame at quarterback in the meeting and then made the journey to linebacker. Probably could have gone to the draft skirt, but he wanted one more season putting himself on tape at this position.
I mean, it says a lot about his athletic ability. When you start 7 games here as a quarterback and Hal comes around, you move over to backer and you become all ACC, come back for your last year to kind of be part of that legacy and turning this program around.
Book down the seam, and there's the tight end you talked about. Michael Mayer, the 6'5" freshman from Kentucky.
Well, he's going to be available often today. He moves out and up. You got a safety in the middle of the field, so Ian Bick knows he has to throw this on a line before that safety can come over. You give Mayer a chance to make the catch and then lower his shoulder. He's got wide receiver skill set. I mean, he's 6'5", 235-pound true freshman, but plays with an attitude. And man, I'm impressed by this kid.
High school player of the year in Kentucky last year. Heels crowd the line. Williams just runs right into an overloaded box, and Jeremiah Gimmel, the linebacker, tackled him.
Here's testing that center, bringing pressure, bringing attacks, push that offensive line back, take the fight to them. That was Robert Hainsey, who started 31 games, the leader of that offensive line, who they pushed back into the backfield there. So almost like, what do we have to lose mentality against Kyren Williams in this offensive line today.
Williams, a guy who ran for 3 touchdowns against Clemson in that victory. Well, you see a look at Hainsey and Eichenberg, solid bookend tackles, but as you point out, the issues are in the middle of the offensive line. So far, mixed results. Middle of the first quarter. Timeout. Irish trying to march to a tying touchdown.
College football on ABC is presented by PlayStation 5. Play has no limits.
Mac learning some dance moves. You got to dance if you're a coach these days, even if you're 69 years old, as he is. Active FBS leader among head coaches with victories at 257, the Hall of Fame class of 2018. Brian Kelly trying for a 6th 10-win season at Notre Dame. Who shares that mark with him at 5. 2nd and 10 off the timeout, and Chris Tyree, freshman, is in at tailback. They hand it to him, and Tyree shows a burst, and the freshman into the secondary before Conley stopped him at the 25.
There's some concerns at center and right guard, but watch Correll climb and get up to the 2nd level. Great job by Aaron Banks, the left guard. And there's 52, the young guy, getting up there, making a great block and opening that up. And we get so caught up in Williams, but Tyree runs a 4-4. And so they have their own combination of backs in South Bend.
They do. You got some fast legs to spell Williams, who will be the workhorse today.
As they get closer and closer, keep an eye on 11. They get down to that red zone with his size.
Take it to Tyree. Book takes off. He's got some space and a blocker. Ian Book inside the 10 and knocked out at the 6. Scrambling for big yardage, a part of his game every game.
Well, they're concerned about blitzing, and if they do, we can't let him get outside. So instead, he steps under, picks up a nice block, but now he's got a receiver in McKinley that's able to lead him down. So Jay Bateman and this defense worked all week on saying, let's not let him play backyard football. Let's make him play from the pocket. He wants to get out and be the aggressor, and we can't let him do it. There he got out and made play. Made a
18-yard gain, and 3 tight ends now in the game for the Irish on 1st and goal. Hand off inside, Williams muscles down to the 2. They just maul the line of scrimmage with those tight ends. It's a lot of fun to watch if you enjoy the blocking part of this.
Yeah, I do. Unless you're going up against, unless you're going against Tommy Tremble, 24. If you're a throwback fan of football and college football, watch 87 and especially 24 when they get down in here and they just push people around, really just bully people.
Like ferocity, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like I think they enjoy it more than catching the ball. They're over here right now.
2nd and goal. Williams muscling, leading, and scoring on that right side as the Irish a long touchdown march to tie this game.
And they just follow the tight ends. They're going to take you to the promised land. Watch the push down by 24. Mayer does a good job of climbing up to that safety. But a nice physical run by Kyron Williams as Grimes, the freshman corner, gets to him. He's got the leg drive to get it into the end zone.
What can you do as a defender? They come in an angle, so you're knocked off balance.
Yeah. It's really not a whole lot you can do other than just outnumber them.
Williams is top 10 in the country in touchdown runs coming in. Scores for the 11th time on the ground. This is just a beautiful thing to watch. You call it 13 personnel, 1 back, 3 tight ends. Get out of our way. 7-7, a good start at Chapel Hill. Primetime tomorrow on ESPN. Texas A&M ranked number 5, very much a playoff contending team. They won't be able to win the SEC West in all likelihood, so looking good against LSU is important. Presented by PlayStation 5 at 7 Eastern time, 6 College Station time. This is Michael Carter, who will let the ball sail over his head. To Kevin Nagandi in the studio.
Chris, we got some breaking news this afternoon. Ohio State head coach Ryan Day has tested positive for COVID-19 and will not travel with the number 4 Buckeyes for tomorrow's game against Illinois. The school saying this in a statement. Larry Johnson will serve as interim head coach while Day's in isolation. Back to you guys.
Larry Johnson, the veteran defensive line coach, certainly wish Ryan Day well. Hope that his symptoms are not serious. Nick Saban coaching remotely in the Iron Bowl. Mac Brown is as cautious as any coach in America. Wears the shield on the sidelines, wears a mask about every waking minute. First down, Howell on play action, checks it down and flips it to Daz Newsome, and he is one of the most dangerous guys in the country after the catch. More yards after contact than just about anybody out there.
No doubt about it. He's looking to get this ball thrown downfield. Long developing play, good pass protection, and then just checks it down. It's the importance, again, of tackling. It's tough to do. It's easy to sit up here and talk about it, but White bit out of control there, and you can't come after these receivers and backs in space out of control.
Carolina's run 8 plays. I think the Irish have missed a tackle in about 4 or 5 of them. Howell on the roll. Too hot and too high for Newsome off his hand. Certainly catchable there. He had some space around him that time.
Well, you're putting these players who are outstanding. Owusu Koromoa that time had to make a choice. Do I stay out in the flat and defend the pass, or do I got to worry about the quarterback who's out on the edge against me? And he was kind of caught in between. Notre Dame catches a break there, that ball goes through the hands of the receiver.
Howell over the middle, low throw, and De'Ami Brown goes down to collect it. First down in Notre Dame territory.
Really good job finding the soft spot in the zone. Watch his eyes. He worked left, moves to backer Shane Simon exactly where he wanted him, and then he brings the ball back to Brown low for the first down.
They're playing with tempo, and after the first down, they will play as fast as they can, try to wear out this Irish defense. Short gain for Carter.
You'll see Carter and Williams. We asked him, is there a reason that 8 or 25 will come in? And it's like, no, we leave it at the Robert Gillespie, the running back coach. Both Mac Brown and Phil Longo said, I don't even know who's in. It just works out where they about get the even amount of snaps at the end of it.
Don't ask the coaches which guy they like better. So it's like choosing between kids. Yeah. They're both very talented. And now it's Williams' turn. A big physical dude. A flag is down as he made a cut and made the first down.
Boy, great patience there, just getting behind those linemen pulling.
To hold.
Holding. Offense. Number 75. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Suzudu, left guard.
That's one of the linemen. He was patiently waiting to get around. Unfortunately, grabs onto a Notre Dame player. And a hold sets back this Carolina offense. Clark Lee, the defensive coordinator from Notre Dame, one of the best in the country. First couple drives, one thing to look at it for 2 weeks on film and build a plan. It's another, all of a sudden now it's reality, trying to make some adjustments, trying to settle in his team against this offense.
They take it to Williams. Howell from the pocket. Lofts it downfield. That's Brown in stride. Dragged down at the 1. The first electric long pass play for this Tar Heel offense. And that is the favorite target for Howell.
Watch Crawford right here. He just kind of eyes him and waits for him to make a decision. He goes with the crossing route, the underneath route to the tight end, so he leaves Bracey one-on-one. Notre Dame will lose those battles downfield one-on-one against Howell. And these receivers, a good read, eyeing Crawford to safety and making the call.
On first and goal, Howell keeps the football, makes a cut, and scores. That was quick. The long, electric play by De'Ami Brown sets up the 1-yard run. Tar Heels back on top. Here we go.
Put on your seatbelt here. This is tough.
By the way, Brown landed awkwardly, appeared to injure his left hand or wrist, and he's being shown to the locker room.
That could be a big loss for Howell in this offense, but as you said, Chris, in a blink of an eye, 7 plays, 75 yards, a little over 2 minutes, and another touchdown. But the matchup, where do you start? You got to stop the running game first, and in order to do that, you got to commit safeties down, and to do that, you're one-on-one on the corners, which is what Carolina can make you pay for doing.
It's an Irish defense that allows less than 17 a game, and now the Tar Heels have 14 here in the first quarter.
Yeah, this is that long throw. You can see the safety here. He's got to make a decision. Am I going to stay up tight and leave my corner on an island, or am I going to stay back and help? He opts to take the big tight end on the shorter throw, and it leaves Brown alone. Ball underthrown. He does a good job adjusting back to it. And then I thought he might have handed this off. I think Notre Dame thought so too. But again, Sam Howell showing that athletic ability enough to make you pay for it if you don't remember that he can run it.
Here's the progressive pylon cap. He's not sudden, but he's also not afraid to take a shot and lean into the end zone. And it has been really a brilliant start for this Carolina offense. Looking forward to the matchup, this Notre Dame D against this attack. The Tar Heels, typically fast start. They've been a great first quarter team. An even better fourth quarter team, just in case it's close late, by the way. Tyree will bring it out from 2 yards deep. And Tar Heels fly down there, smacking into people and stop them at the 17. To Katie George.
Well, as Notre Dame celebrated their first score of the game, guys, no one was congratulated more on the sideline over here than Zeke Correll, who's making his first career start at center. Andrew Kristofic gave him a big bear hug. Both Ian Book and Kyron Williams made it a point to come over to pat him on the back. So far, he's all smiles, but they'll need him to be a force up front as they find themselves in a back-and-forth matchup.
Back and forth, indeed. Irish again will have to answer. Excellent coverage by North Carolina. Mac Brown just hoping for a draw from the special teams. You could give a clear edge on paper to Notre Dame, but a nice start from the coverage team.
Yeah, British Brooks, 34, flying down that last kickoff.
He's a running back, right?
Yeah.
Play action Book. Has to avoid the rush. Lofting downfield. And a leaping catch made by Javon McKinley. The graduate student got deep, and he beat Don Chapman, the safety.
Yeah, Chapman is one-on-one because the corner, Grimes, ended up coming on a blitz. Watch him hit the arm of Ian Book. Ian Book showing strength in that hand. Right there, he hits him, pulls it down, and then throws it up and lets McKinley adjust and go up and make a play on it.
Had to rebuild the receiving core with Claypool with the Steelers, Cole Kmet's in the league. And there's Book taken off. sheds a tackle. It'll stiff arm in space. Book headed outside the 5-yard line. Stopped at the 7. Another long scramble.
Just a quarterback power here. He's going to follow who else? 24 and Banks. Then he shows that natural athletic ability that Ian Book has and allows you to run the quarterback. Design quarterback run gives you an extra blocker and an extra hat that defense has to account for. And I'll tell you, man, you give him a little bit of room and he's got some shake to him, he can make you pay for it.
Longest scramble of the season for Book.
Now's the time where you start, although Notre Dame's going to call a timeout.
You see that only Tony Rice among Notre Dame quarterbacks has more career rushing yards than Book. Tony, part of that national championship team, the most recent Notre Dame national championship team. He didn't quite throw the ball like Book, by the way. Tony had 7 completions when they won a national championship against West Virginia, but Book, Kirk, just week in, week out. Defensive coordinators know he's going to do that, but the scramble is just so difficult to stop no matter what they do.
Well, it's very underrated because he's known for his scrambling, his creativity. But in this game, they talked this week to us about the importance of having the quarterback run game because they felt North Carolina may have to stack the line against the normal running of Kyron Williams. So they said, listen, Ian Book's not afraid. He's played 31 games. He can run the football. We will run the football in this game. Now look, this gives you an idea of the versatility of these tight ends. They're not just blockers. Look where Trimble is now. He's lined up out as a wide receiver down here.
Very capable in space. He'll motion back into the backfield in front of Williams now. And from the I formation, Kyron looking for space, makes a cut. Hasek drags him down at the 4-yard line, 2nd and goal.
Really good decision there by Jay Bateman, the defensive coordinator, to slant towards the boundary. Just outnumbered that offensive line. And somehow Notre Dame's still able to get positive yards.
Book in the shotgun on 2nd and goal. Bobble the snap. Backpedaling, trying to make something happen. Book flips it down, and from a disastrous start, they're going to get a score. Dumped down to Kyron Williams, who dives to the pylon. That was Book, improvisational wizard there. That play looked dead.
It did. Remember, Jay Bateman said we don't want to let him play backyard football. Let's take a peek to make sure he extends to the pylon, and he does. That's a touchdown. But Zeke Correll snaps this ball as if he thinks that Book's underneath him. The progressive pylon cam gets knocked out, shows that he scored, but he snapped that ball like he's under. This is backyard football. It's where Ian Book makes you pay for it. I love that he didn't try to run it, got rid of it immediately to Williams with the speed.
Sure for the conversion. Anybody else in college football backpedaled faster and better than Ian Book? He just is so natural at moving in reverse.
He's like a point guard, that just happens to be on grass. They'll go talk to Correll, kind of calm him down. His quarterback was able to, number one, make this play. There's that blitz. Look how he holds on to that ball with one hand, throws it up to McKinley. That's the big play that got him into plus territory. And this is what we talked about with McKinley's size. He can muscle you for that football. It's 6'2", and then there's the backyard football play by Ian Book. Got a feeling he played a lot of backyard football at Sacramento.
You got a feeling it looked a lot like that,
yes. Too. Yeah, he looks comfortable when there's chaos.
Something tells me he was the best in the neighborhood.
Yeah. 5
possessions, 4 touchdowns. Exciting first quarter here in Carolina. Both offenses kind of showing what they can do, what they've been doing, and both defenses showing you why the staffs were a little bit concerned coming into this matchup.
Yeah, I think most of our crew thought we have a chance to see a game, which quarterback and which offense may have the ball last could win this game. And in this first quarter, that's exactly what we're seeing play out.
Carter will let it bounce to the end zone, and the heels will begin from the 25.
Taco Bell's Nachos Party Pack. Delicious nachos topped with all your favorites. Only at Taco Bell.
So Howell back to work. He's thrown for 1 and run for 1 in the 2 Tar Heel possessions so far. 4 for 6 start, 85 yards.
Important to note for Notre Dame fans that De'Ami Brown, who went into the locker room, is now back on the field and down here at the bottom of your screen.
Matched up against McLeod. has the corner. And gives a little stiff arm there to Kyle Hamilton. A couple of future NFL players colliding. He's pretty good with the stiff arm, by the way.
Well, how about the hole he just ran through? Clark Lee saying enough of the corners being on islands. We're going to keep our safeties back to protect them. And now you're outnumbered in the run game. It's like pick your poison.
They fake it to him. Howell will be swarmed. He kind of withstood the initial sandwich, spun free, but is sacked for a 2-yard loss there.
He's this RPO game, they read space. Keep an eye right here with Bo Bauer. I think he wants to throw the ball right here on that slant, the glance route right here, but it's taken away because Bauer does not come up into the running game. So a rare misread there by Sam Howell.
Final 20 seconds of an exciting first quarter on 2nd and 11. Williams tries to break free, dragged down after a short gain by Lifu, and it's going to be 3rd and long as we begin the second quarter. So North Carolina trying for a milestone win, never beaten a top 2 team. The Irish had their hands full after 15 minutes. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station. Set for quarter 2 on this beautiful campus. ESPN College Football presented by PlayStation 5. 14 apiece in the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive game of the week. Each offense forced to run just 1 third down play apiece in the first quarter. Carolina now needs 8 to keep this drive alive on 3rd down. Michael Carter is the back. Howell has protection, zips it across the middle, throws into traffic. It's incomplete. Tried to get it to De'Ami Brown. Wasn't going to make the first down anyway.
Well, nice job by Kyle Hamilton, who's a very talented safety, how he comes up and recognizes a crossing route, gets in front of it, anticipates a throw coming in some direction. He's looking left and right, and eventually he's there to help out.
What a great safety. Hamilton is big guy, great in coverage, obviously an athletic blitzer, one of the stars in this Notre Dame defense. A difference maker almost every game. The punt almost blocked. Irish have blocked a couple this year, and they came after it. And Salerno will just let it roll out of bounds. The man, Foskey, who's the danger. You got to keep an ay on him when you're punting.
Yeah,
you got real close.
You do. He's a young player, but has really good savvy. You see the get off there? Gives him a chance. And then he's got the length. He may have overrun that. He got in there so quickly. That angle gives it a totally different view. But how about the stop by Notre Dame? Couple quick scores by North Carolina. That time a nice job of getting Howe and that offense off the field, getting the ball back to Ian Book. The way this game feels, every stop counts.
Good point. Irish at the 16. From the eye, Williams makes something of nothing. He was very patient. You point out his patience as a running back, and he got about 5 that time.
You started to go into his story. I'm blown away by, they came into this year, the running back position was open, and he kind of had a slot back history to him, and they said he just really committed himself to saying, hey, it's an open job. I want to go get it. And kind of came out of nowhere in camp through amidst quarantine and COVID and everything going on.
A quantum leap, though. You're right. When you get in Brian Kelly's doghouse early in the season by not picking up blitzes, sometimes it takes a while to work your way out. He never did, and just ends up taking a red shirt. But he's now such a complete back. He took the hard coaching to heart, and he is he's also the alpha, the heartbeat of the team, too.
It's a great message, though. He took going into the doghouse, and instead of complaining or pointing the finger at transferring, he took it to heart, and now you see, as you said, a complete back.
Katie?
Well, Chris, you mentioned that he's the heartbeat. Tommy Rees says Williams was the one during the Clemson game late in that 4th quarter when Notre Dame was down that everyone turned to because Williams believed they were going to come back and win that game. Because of that, everyone else believed it too. Rees says that you have to have that kind of confidence and competitive spirit to do big things. Williams certainly has it, and therefore he's the pulse.
You need some guys that have that kind of nasty attitude.
Number 98, making contact with an offensive lineman. 5-yard penalty, results of the penalty, 1st down.
Kevin Hester Jr. getting anxious, but you mentioned Tremble and Williams, fun guys to watch even on the sidelines because they have that kind of nasty edge to them.
Yeah, well, I think it's changed the entire personality of the offense and really the team. Notre Dame has looked different, especially from the Clemson game on.
Book zips it far side, and the catch is made by Joe Wilkins, one of the role players in this offense.
I mean, they went into that Clemson game expecting to win, and I think a lot of the highlights. How about him in pass protection? We just talked about his growth. He took it to heart, and he's been doing this all year. It's just highlighted quite a bit because of the way he stepped up and met those Clemson linebackers all night long. But he did it again against Boston College. I mean, he's done it all year.
He was so good, Venable started bringing two guys, because bringing one blitzer, that wasn't doing anything with the blocks that Williams is picking up. Three tight ends in the game, second and short, and fighting for first down yardage. Williams gets it to the 37. Hester on the stop.
Williams on the carry. Kevin Hester Jr. on the tackle.
Carolina trying to rotate bodies themselves, especially at the defensive line spot, to try to stay fresh. Their goal was rotate bodies and be multiple, give them a lot of different looks, not only with a new center, but just they felt that they could affect the communication, and you don't want to let Ian Book know what you're sitting in.
Williams has it again and works his way for a nice solid first down gain of about 6.
See, this is kind of what you expected if you're a Notre Dame fan against all that, again, the offense that Carolina has. Take your time, nice productive 1st and 10, and now you can work a little bit of clock and try to be productive and balanced at the same time.
Brian said they're going to be deliberate on offense. They can routinely control the ball 35, 36 minutes. Book has time in the pocket, but no one to throw to, and he'll be dragged down for a short loss by Tamon Fox.
See, this is kind of that balancing act when you're an athletic guy, and they talk to you about be patient. Don't get out of there. Don't be in a hurry to get out of there. Work through your progressions. Well, part of working through your progressions takes away from your natural ability to create. So it's a little bit I can respect, because he does need to be patient and work through it, but also there needs to be just a light that goes off, and he needs to get out and let him do what he can do, which is creating.
I told him for 3 years, stay in there, stay in there, stay in there, right? Now it's get out of there, go.
Yeah.
3rd and 6. Tar Heels again collapse the pocket. Book trying to make some magic again, still alive, spinning, twisting, and scrambling, and now throwing it short of the first down. Williams gets it. A lot of running and twisting and moving for a short completion.
Well, good coverage, and again, Ian Book turns a play into kind of a backyard football play. We just talked about be patient, it almost cost him again, by the way, and this is what he's known for. He gets out of there. He's trying to look downfield to see if he can find anybody else with a shot at a first down, but ends up having to check it down to Kyron Williams. So great coverage and staying, kind of pasting that coverage downfield by Carolina's secondary.
Old-timers might think of Fran Tarkenton, Roger Staubach, the kind of escapability we've seen from Book so far in this game. Williams just needed to run a little bit farther and turn around after hitting the line to make. Nice job. Coverage team finally locates it and downs it at the 2-yard line, but Jay Bramlett does his job, and the Heels will be backed up.
Back-to-back stops.
Fun to watch.
Back-to-back stops there. Both defenses.
Superb 51-yard punt by Bramlett down at the 3. Chris Fowler, Kirkland Street, Katie George. Oops. Carolina touchdowns in their first 2 possessions, but that defense began to get some traction in this game. Trying to run out of the end zone in a slow developing play. Williams battles back to the line of scrimmage. Middle was clogged.
What we're seeing, I think, in these last couple of possessions where Notre Dame was able to get a stop, and here on that first play is the defensive line, which was a big factor coming in. They needed to dominate the line of scrimmage and let these backers get downhill to try to erase the running game and get Sam Howell into some obvious passing situations.
2-back look now on 2nd and 9. Fake it to Carter. Howell has to fight just to avoid the safety. Isaiah Foskey was there in a hurry, wrestles him down at the 1.
Usu Kororoma comes on the blitz right there, and I think catches Sam Howell off guard. He wanted to pull it out, but a really good job in coverage by the backers who in the middle of the field, they took away the slant where he wanted to go with the football.
Man, Kirk, the dangers of playing shotgun when you're back in your own end zone. 3rd and 12.
They almost baited him there in that run pass option to throw that.
3rd and long, Irish rush 4. Howell dumps it off. Williams nowhere to go. Tackled immediately by Kyle Hamilton, and the Irish defense rises up and forces a 3 and out.
Remember the last 3rd down? It's the exact same thing. Hamilton was on the left. This time he's on the right. They're just freeing him up to freelance on 3rd down and get underneath, to use his instincts to find where they're going to check it down, or if it's a crossing route, and then make a play out in space. They're one of their best athletes that they have, obviously, on this defense, and he's done a good job on the last 2 3rd downs.
Yeah, he's a tough guy to beat, Hamilton. So Kiernan, the Irishman, from his end zone, gets a low line drive kick that will bounce. And Salerno just gets away from it. It's an effective punt. So Mack Brown's defense back on the field, 14 apiece midway 2nd quarter.
College football, presented by PlayStation 5 on ABC, is brought to you by Pacific Life. More than 150 years strong. Trust in your tomorrow. And in part by Duluth Trading Company. Tough, ingenious workwear designed and tested by tradesmen.
Tar Heels Thanksgiving meal. You saw those cookies there, baked by Mack Brown's wife, Sally, individually wrapped. Nice little treat. Good job, Sally.
That's nice. That's nice effort.
Beautiful late afternoon in the shadow of the Bell Tower here in Kenan Stadium. Picturesque setting. 14 apiece. Notre Dame taking over at the 40 after a 51-yard punt by Kiernan. Brooks got it on play action, flips it off the hands of Tremble. Normally reliable tight end. Couldn't corral his first touch. Katie?
Well, Carolina's defense may have gotten the stop on that last drive, but DC Jay Bateman is not happy. His side has allowed Ian Book to continue to escape the pocket. He said, guys, we will have to keep the quarterback in the pocket, and when we get pressure on him, don't let him off the hook. So he's urging them to rely on their preparation for the last 2 weeks for this quarterback.
Katie, you remember on the Zoom, Jay Bateman said, hey, he's a backyard football guy. Make him play from the pocket. Make him be a quarterback.
This is a design run, a draw right up the middle. He's fearless running the ball up the middle, but that time, Conley, the nickelback, delivered the blow.
Yeah, the true freshman plays in the nickelback, but Chris, as you said, he's just kind of following behind Aaron Banks, 69, also the back Tyree, trying to work his way back to the right, but before he could, see him get hit, but picks up positive yards, give him a chance here on 3rd and short.
This makes it 6 consecutive games. Book has scrambled for more than 40 yards. So you can try to practice against it for 2 weeks, but those broken plays have been tough for everybody to stop. They need 5 on this 3rd down. And that time he delivers a strike. Big Michael Mayer has got it. And they move the sticks into Tar Heel territory at the 43.
What a great target to go to. 6'5", 235-pound freshman against a corner, Hollins, who has good size for a corner, but a tough matchup. You see Jay Bateman. What are we doing?
He ran some very good defenses at West Point before getting hired by Mack Brown. Boy, they were tough against the run. They were great in the red zone, great on 3rd down. They had some talent. He'll tell you it wasn't just a bunch of scrappy guys. They had 3 guys in the NFL off of his Army defense.
That's right.
3 tight ends for the Irish on this 1st down play. Williams, stiff arm. He cannot elude the tackle. There was a nice play on the edge by Tyrone Hopper.
And Rucker almost was able to penetrate, did a good job of shooting a gap, but a big part of defending. And we're talking about 2 weeks. Katie just mentioned 2 weeks. We've been talking about it. The other thing they've been talking about is setting an edge against this dominant Notre Dame running game. And that time a much better job by Hopper.
Tyree spelling Williams now on 2nd and 9. He's got it. So often, Notre Dame running backs, Kirk, have had to stutter step or go off the initial line of the run and try to make something of it. Clyde Pender on the tackle that time.
Yeah, they're doing a Notre Dame where you would think coming in the advantage one-on-one at the offensive line, but I've been impressed with the job you've seen by, that time it was Clyde Pender, just a good job of winning some one-on-one blocks. You know, we get caught up in the one-on-one game where you can watch it on the outside, receivers against defensive backs, but last couple plays, Carolina winning some one-on-one matchups in the trenches.
Another 3rd and long. They need 9. 4-man rush. Book has lots of time to survey. Nobody open. Still looking. And now flips it. And it's incomplete. Mayer was fighting back to the ball. Gemmel in coverage. And it's 4th down.
I couldn't tell if Gemmel got that or not. It was a good effort to come back to the ball. Scramble drill with Mayer. 87, who we keep talking about. There he is working his way right here. But once his quarterback gets in trouble, watch him work back late. Now you got a chance. I'm just trying to see, did 44 Gemmel get a hand on that ball, or did it just go right through the arms? Yeah, it went right through the arms of the freshman.
Perhaps a fingertip enough to distract him.
Maybe. But that's a shocker. You don't see that.
Kills the drive, and now Bramlett trying to do what he did a few minutes ago so well, which is not get dead. Flawless execution one more time. Hamilton downs it at the 3. Heels backed up again. The Bears' last 2 athletic trivia questions delivered in absentia by Bill LaMagna. Did a great job, Bear. Welcome back. What do you got for us this week? We want something that's from the post-war era, please.
Well, yeah, this will be an all-encompassing athletic trivia question today. I heard some criticism last week, so I was sitting at home and
gentle criticism.
I was very, very discouraged. But anyway, today's athletic trivia question: North Carolina looking for its first ever win over an AP top 2 team. Tar Heels are 0-18 all time. We're going to be positive though. Today's question: which team has the most wins over AP top 2 teams?
It's Newsom making the catch, and all of a sudden they're backed up no longer. So the most wins against top 2 teams, because that Carolina 0-18 is pretty ugly. They actually have 1 win in 40 tries against top 5 ranked opponents. That was Miami here when the current Tar Heel players were toddlers. From the 3 to the 17 in one play. Now Howell rolls out. That pass is batted down. Big Drew White got a paw up there.
Good tight coverage. Nowhere to go with the football for Sam Howell, and it just gets knocked away. And there you see those backers attacking downhill, and White, who can't get to him, but at least is athletic enough to time up that leap to knock the ball down.
He's kind of in the box linebacker. Wondered if it was going to be his kind of a game, right? Because Carolina so often gets you spread out and puts all these speedy guys on the field. On 2nd and 10, Howell swarmed and sacked, and the Irish pass rush imposing itself. Maris Leafau, the freshman.
Leafau, you can see him time up his blitz right here, but they end up bringing both backers. And that looks like an adjustment that Clark Lee's making right now. Instead of giving Howell time, let's be the aggressor. Let's go after him. And not only with the defensive line, but also let's bring, every once in a while, let's get those linebackers coming downhill.
They were on their back foot first couple of drives with this Irish defense behind the adjustments, some aggressive play. 3 sacks now for the Irish defense, and now a 3rd and 18 for Howell. Ball out quickly. Catch made by Newsom. Can he make something happen? Yes, he can. Electric after the catch, and it's a 1st down of a 3rd and 18.
Picks up a couple good blocks on the outside. Walston does one of the blocks to the inside. He also picks up a block by Brown, then the stiff arm, and just raw speed. Crawford has a chance there, but the stiff arm, and then he's able to accelerate for a 1st down.
So often they create mismatches with that guy in the slot. Crawford on the sideline, grimacing in pain. Carter, not much on 1st down.
Hate to see Crawford in pain. He is in his 6th year. Has had a couple ACL injuries, torn Achilles, dislocated elbow. Young man has fought through a lot to get to his 6th year. So I know Notre Dame fans, anytime they see 20 go out, see the C on that jersey for a reason. Love to see him get back out there.
Ian Book's roommate, a captain on this team. And the symbol of perseverance, you're right. Howell pressured again, has to roll. Flag comes out, ball heaved downfield, and the catch is made by De'Ami Brown, who spun out at the 21, but this one apparently is going to come back.
Yeah, that was a hold on the right side of the offensive
Holding.
line.
Offense, number 73, 10-yard penalty, second down.
Marcus McKethan, that flag was very early as Howell was trying to escape the pocket.
Yeah, watch 73, McKethan. He just, right towards the end, Hayes starts to get through. Behind, you can see it even better where he just pulls his jersey down.
Negates a 49-yard pass play, moves the ball back inside the North Carolina 20. That shield for Mack fogged up. He was a little bit upset by that penalty, negating a big play. You can see why when they could protect Howell, De'Ami Brown is a matchup nightmare for this Irish defense.
And a goal of this offense is they want to stay ahead of the sticks and on schedule to try to put the safeties in a tough spot and have to figure out run or pass. And
2nd and 20, 4-man rush. Ooh, long throw, incomplete. It was over Williams, and it was Simmons trying to come up with it. And he had the touchdown earlier. 3rd and 20 now.
Yeah, Simmons is usually the 4th or 5th option of these receivers, just trying to come back to the ball. Has a nice cushion there for Bracey, but unable to hold on to it. Would have been a heck of a catch. See if Notre Dame drops in coverage or if they try to bring some pressure.
Well, they let Newsome escape on 3rd and 18 a moment ago. Now it's 3rd and 20. They rush 4, across the middle, catch made, and hammered. Hamilton just leveling, and now we've got flags down. 2 of them, this may be targeting.
Just watching that live, you're going to see it in instant replay if it's helmet to helmet. He came in there on a defenseless player, and I know he's a great player and didn't have bad intentions, but I think he may have hit the receiver here when he came up to make a play on the ball. He lowered his head. And
the ruling on the field is a catch. Personal foul, targeting, defense, number 14. That play is under further review.
I thought for a moment that Hamilton was hurt, Kirk, but I think he was just disappointed because he knew right away that he was going to be ejected for that. Obviously, Rusty Acrea, the replay official, will review this. Here it is, number 14 coming in on downs. Boom, lowers the helmet like a right off. That is
textbook case.
Sure is. Take a break. The obvious targeting confirmed, so the first penalty for Notre Dame is a costly one. Their top tackler, Kyle Hamilton, out of the game. Thankfully, man he hit, Josh Downs, is okay after spending some time in the training tent. Appears to be fine, which is a relief based on the violence of that collision.
Great to see 11 up and even smiling, and for Notre Dame, boy, a significant loss to that secondary.
Ball moved to the 44, and once again, Carter escapes, still running. Yards after contact. You said it an hour ago.
Yeah, and Houston Griffith, who's a great player, comes in for him for Kyle Hamilton, and right away he gets tested out in space, trying to make his tackle right here. Tough thing to do when you've been on the sideline for most of the game and then come in and have to deal with one of the more elusive running backs, not just in the ACC, but in the country.
39 receptions for those 2 running backs coming into the game. They each have 1 reception today. Play action, Howell has to avoid the rush, rolls out and fires to Emory Simmons, who's become an important part of the attack today.
Something to watch, and Houston Griffith is a very, very talented young man who has the ability to be physical and also can cover, but Kyle Hamilton, kind of the quarterback of that secondary, and tonight has been making plays in space and at times has played man-to-man against some of those receivers. And that's something that Griffith will have to be able to do, or otherwise North Carolina will go after him.
Williams, how would you attack his replacement if you were Phil Longo calling the plays for Carolina?
Well, I think because of what's asked of that position against this offense, it's not just because it's Griffith, it's just anybody that you want to try to get out in space, defend the run, have to tackle Williams and Carter in space and run support. And then I would try to get back, downfield behind him with make him have to make a choice on, like some of these other Notre Dame defensive backs have had to. Do I pick the underneath man or the man going downfield?
Williams Wrestled down right at the line of scrimmage. Minute 15 to halftime. No timeouts. Let's see, it's 4th down now.
Well, they are.
Take one here.
Those backers are flying downhill against this offense.
Let's go back to Chris Felica in the Bears den. Athletic trivia question. Most wins all time versus top 2 teams. You making a guess?
I have no idea. No idea. Bears Athletic trivia questions have gone to a different place. This is for you and him to have fun.
Again, the poll era begins in 1938. So if you're telling me, Felica, that a lot of these wins were piled up before 1950, you were going to be put on double secret probation.
I am telling you that the answer to today's Athletic trivia question, all those wins were not piled up prior to 1950. In fact, one of them was piled up a couple of weeks back when Notre Dame recorded its 17th win over top 2 team with the Clemson. By the way, if you want to go negative and pessimistic, because I know Kirk likes to poke on me for being Mr. Negative, Indiana's got the most losses without a win against top 2 teams.
17 is a tremendous number.
Who's up there with Notre Dame, Bear?
USC had 16, so they snapped the tie with USC when they went 16, when they won their 17th a couple weeks ago.
Grayson Atkins from 42. He struggled a bit beyond 40 yards. Not total trust in the kicker from Mac Brown, but this one right down the middle. Field goal puts the Heels in front as we approach halftime.
That's about as perfect of rhythm and timing from a snap, a hold, and a kick as you can hope for.
72-yard drive in 12 plays. He had the 3rd and 18 conversion. He had the key penalty on Kyle Hamilton, so a costly drive for the Irish defense.
And that penalty was on third and
20. Yep.
Yeah. So tough loss for Notre Dame.
You're no longer required, by the way, to leave the field when you're ejected for targeting. So Hamilton can offer support and leadership from the sidelines, but they'd rather have him on the field. Defenses have made a little stand. It was 14 apiece pretty quickly in this game. Now just slowed down since.
Yep. Things have slowed down a bit.
Carolina will get the football to begin the second half, so we'll see what can do in the final minute 10 with a couple timeouts to work with. So they have just one. They spent a timeout there to preserve time before the field goal attempt. And they'll begin from the 25-yard line. The Allstate bus here in Chapel Hill. What's your Allstate protection spotlight?
Well, you know, I had to pick the Notre Dame tight ends. I've enjoyed watching them all year and enjoying it tonight. Look at Tremble block. If you're a quarterback running the ball like Ian Book, or if you're a back like Kyron Williams, just get behind 24 and enjoy the ride. Here's all 3 of them setting up Notre Dame's first touchdown.
Now, if you're the Irish, you're wondering what's up with the wide receivers. Avery Davis doesn't have a catch. Skoranek, who had a monster 3-touchdown game against Boston College last time out, he's been held catchless. Book surveys, scrambles, and just throws it away into the bench. Hopper pressured him. Cap One halftime report. Kevin Negandhi, Mark and Booger alongside. Take a look back at that thrilling Iowa State-Texas game that preceded this one. Flag on that play.
I'm kind of seeing him hold a hold on North Carolina in the secondary.
Holding, defense, 10-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
The 3,500 here booing that call. Mac asking for an explanation.
They ended up getting on Kyler McMichael, the corner who's transferred over from Clemson. He was up against Skoranek, who had a step on him, and when he worked back to the ball, he grabbed onto his jersey.
Moves the ball to the 35. 3-man rush for spying Book. He delivers a long throw, and there is Skoranek. We talked about the grad transfer from Northwestern, the rangy receiver. It's a short gain, 52 seconds left in the half.
Yeah, I'm with you. I really like the look of 11. You know, I think he had his kind of coming out party for Notre Dame in that Pitt game when he was healthy. Had a little bit of a hamstring problem early in the year.
Flip it to Williams. He gets out of bounds. They preserve the timeout. First down into Carolina territory.
North Carolina focused so much on the defending the tight ends and the receivers. Nobody picks up Williams sneaking out of the backfield.
Tremble had a drop earlier, so no catches for him. Mayer's been targeted a few times, but it's not been an explosive pass game yet for the Irish. Book lofts a ball on the sidelines. That guy's been pretty busy, though. McKinley goes up, uses the 6'4" frame for the catch.
Again, the receivers are they're almost like an extension of the tight ends because of their size. Avery Davis is the only one that can get out in space and make you pay for it.
Book throws it away again, and the clock stops with 24 seconds in the half.
Pass is incomplete.
North Carolina, for the most part, has done a pretty good job on Ian Book. He doesn't look necessarily settled in the pocket and sure of his reads right now. A lot of coverage where he has to hold on to the football.
And going to run the ball, staying alive and making something of nothing is Kyron Williams. He's tackled just short of the marker, so they'll have to use a timeout if they want to stop the clock.
Yeah, Day Hollins,
going down
15. He had him. He blitzed him on a corner. The knee is not touched. Outstanding balance. And it kind of a play that kind of symbolic of the attitude in the year that Kyron Williams has had. Kind of they talk about him being the pulse and setting the tone. It's a heck of an effort there.
That's why you do all the strength work, but also the flexibility work. Tremendous balance and flexibility to put that offhand on the field, to stay up and then make a 9-yard gain, because if he got tackled there, they're really in very marginal field goal range.
Yeah. When you hear a coach say he loves the game and he wants to be great, I love hearing that combination. Loves the game and he wants to be great. That to me, when you watch him run, that's what you think of.
What do they do here now? 3rd and 1, no more timeouts. They have to really hustle the field goal team out there if the ball is stopped in the field of play. Two receivers stacked to the left. Book looking to throw, holds the ball, and now we'll just throw it away. A flag comes in. Oh my goodness, Mayer was running in coverage there against the safety Chapman. Ball wasn't catchable, but he did get tangled up with Mayer.
Yep. They wanted to try to take one shot.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 2. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Yeah, I think they were comfortable in feeling that they're in range for a field goal, so why not just take a shot to the big tight end who's matched up against an undersized, kind of fakes that he's going to block Day Hollins and then slides down this right sideline, and that's where he's interfered with by Don Chapman. Now they got another, quick shot with 10 seconds. Take a shot to the end zone. Find a one-on-one matchup you like.
They take a shot to the end zone to Skoranek, who tried to make a one-handed catch. Benefit usually goes to the receiver. On that previous call, the ball didn't look to be in the neighborhood of the pass of the receiver.
Right. But Chris, I can't say it enough, dude. That 20 is, and he's a little, never gets his head turned around to find the ball. That dude's a senior in high school. It's the #1 ranked corner in this year's class that decided to play early because his high school, they didn't play high school football this year.
So high school senior against a graduate student.
That's what I'm saying. 17-year-old going up against, I don't know, whatever he is, 23 years old. One-on-one on an island.
Man's got a Northwestern degree. He's trying to prolong his career, and a guy who is full of confidence. Skoranek firmly believes that he's going to play on Sunday. So a good drive by Notre Dame. Effective 2-minute drill, and now with 5 seconds, Dora's got a very short field goal attempt to get to 17 apiece at halftime. It's been a really entertaining, very well-balanced first half here.
I love that Brian Kelly shows the confidence that he has in Ian Book, and he took a couple shots there late. He was confident that he was already in field goal range and says, what the heck, why not try to find a matchup that we like, and before we have to settle for a field goal, let's take a couple shots. And a couple big penalties there that help him on that drive.
Dora excited to be back in his home state. Comes from Charlotte. And he makes it 13 for 17 on the year with the chip shot. And the Irish do draw even at 17 apiece, heading to the locker room. I hate to miss this kick coming back to state of North Carolina. It wasn't pretty. No, a lot of his kicks aren't pretty.
Yeah, you called that. I mean, maybe they're glad that it wasn't back about another 10 yards further. I don't know if that would have gone in.
He's got kind of a natural draw right to left in a lot of his kicks, but that was not one for the.
That was a knuckle. That was a knuckle curve.
Hey, it counts 3 points.
It is. It's good.
And so, Mac Brown trying for the program statement win. The Irish trying to stay undefeated, and in the top 2 are tied at 17 apiece. Exciting second half coming up from Chapel Hill. The Capital One halftime report coming up after these messages.
Welcome back to the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week.
Deadlock as we start the second half. ESPN College Football presented by PlayStation 5 and this presentation of the ACC on ESPN, the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week. Notre Dame trying to keep perfect season alive. Tar Heels trying to keep hope alive for the ACC championship game. They would still need some help. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Katie George also with us. What began as a shootout. Touchdowns in the first 4 of the 5 possessions to begin this game, which is Carolina's world, became a field position game in the second quarter. What's going to decide it in the second half, you think?
Well, I think North Carolina, first of all, they need to go back to running the football to be able to open up some vertical chances one-on-one downfield where you get the safeties up and run support. You get your corners isolated one-on-one where you can take advantage of it. And I just feel like Notre Dame's out of sorts a bit offensively. You know, Ian Book was under 100 yards passing going into that last drive and now only at 123. And I know they're down a couple offensive linemen, but I'd get back to old reliable. Kyron Williams running the football to set up play action. How many times have we seen Ian Book tonight holding the ball and then having to scramble? So Carolina, a pretty good job against that Notre Dame offense in the first half.
You know, Kyron Williams under 4 yards a carry, but it's Sam Howell and the heels that go to work first. And the fair catch made. Here's our Pacific Life game summary. It was a fast start for the heels. Howell came out firing. The seldom used touchdown to Emory Simmons there. 2 scores and 2 possessions.
Yeah, that's kind of what we thought we'd see for most of this game, is Howell having his way throwing the football. And Ian Brooks had to do it with his legs more than anything. You see, as I said, 123 through the air, but his scrambling and creativity have been probably the bright spot for Notre Dame. But they've had to work for everything that they've been able to come up with.
De'Ami Brown and Daz Newsome, 5 catches between them. Get the feeling they got a big play or 2 left in this game. A first down throw and a slant. And the catch is made to the 35-yard line. It's Newsome.
Again, worth mentioning that the very talented Kyle Hamilton is out for a targeting call. So you'll see a combination. DJ Brown is actually in now. Houston Griffith will be in there as well for him.
And flying up is Drew White. In linebacker position.
And see, this is what the adjustment from Clark Lee. If they're going to bounce outside, let's chase it down. Let's attack downhill with our backers and let them be able to get penetration and then use our speed. They did that from about the 3rd possession on, where they've been blitzing these backers and having a lot of success with it against the running game.
Irish been on a roll. This is 5 straight games that held opponents under 100 yards rushing. Didn't figure that was possible today against this 2-back system. But they've been good so far. As I say that, Carter gets loose and is just tackled on the perimeter. It's a big tackle by Usu Koromora to save a massive gain.
Yeah, this time, again, aggressive mentality, but good job by Carter of giving a little jump cut, bounces it to the outside. And when you blitz those backers, if they're not able to get that penetration and make tackles, then you've got a free lane there to be able to run for Carter with that vision.
And they call Woo or Joke. Senior from Hampton, Virginia. Howell did that kind of
False
fake
start.
clap, but
Offense.
it's a flinch on the
Number
offensive
25.
line.
5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Williams, as a matter of fact, in the backfield.
It's hard. You don't see very often a back in a 2-point stance get called for a false start.
Quarterback faked the man. Now makes it a tough 3rd down play. They need 9.
Notre Dame will walk those backers up. Sometimes Clark Lee likes to bring them. Other times he just shows it and relies on that front 4 to get pressure.
All but the two Notre Dame defenders standing up on this snap and falling down. Is Williams just lost his footing as he darted forward.
I think he got
down.
Caught up in with Sam Howell. It looked like either that or just the field itself. No, I think he just went down. By the way, that play didn't have much of a chance at all on 3rd and long of coming up with a first down. Notre Dame again gets a stop and gets the offense off the field.
Big assist from Williams with a false start on that 2nd down play. Kiernan will try to pin the Irish deep. And from Dublin, that's his style. On the run, low. It's an effective punt. Tierney lets it bounce, and it'll roll dead. Excellent job by both punters this afternoon. It is field position theme continues. Katie?
Well, Brian Kelly at Haas says he wants to see his offense do a better job in 3rd down situations, which is an area they usually excel. He said North Carolina has done a nice job mixing up their looks, so we have to do a better job recognizing that. Defensively, he said, I don't care how we do it, we just need to get off the field, so that's a good start. And then he wants to see Houston Griffin step up for missing Kyle Hamilton on the defensive side of the ball.
It's a big ask. You're right about 3rd down. Notre Dame is just 1 of 4. And now they're backed up. Kyron Williams lined up about 4 yards deep in the end zone. He's got it. Had to make a cut. Again, quick penetration, Kirk, and no gain. Tyrone Hopper's played a nice game.
Yeah, Hopper does a good job. And again, we go back to this theme with the center, new center, and you got to look out for slants and angles. And there it is. You're losing Jarrett Patterson. You put in a very talented young man who's never made a start. And North Carolina trying to slant and angle and affect communication, slip through gaps, and that time they did.
Skoranek motions across. 2nd and 10. Book looking back to the left and delivers. Catch made far side. McKinley, who's been busy and reliable. He beat Grimes.
Boy, really accurate throw. Throws in rhythm. Ball is out even before he makes his cut. That's what you'd like to see from, if you're a Notre Dame fan, from Ian Book on his first throw in the 2nd half. A simple throw back into the boundary, but the timing critical.
End around and trying to shake free there. Unsuccessfully is Lawrence Keys, a wide receiver. 2nd and 8. Haven't seen Braden Lindsey make an impact. He's a track star from Oregon. He's missed the last 4 games with a hamstring. He was available. He's been in there briefly, but hasn't yet made an impact play for this offense.
Yeah, Lindsey and Keys try to give you that jet sweep, try to stretch a defense horizontally.
3 receivers to the left. They'll hand it off inside, and Kyron Williams muscled down by Chaz Sherratt. It'll be 3rd and long.
That time, Chris, the Carolina defensive line, instead of getting penetration, they do what they're supposed to do. Just free up these backers and let them make tackles. It's exactly what they did. Watch those offensive linemen, the tight ends, they're occupied. Look at 21. Just comes down clean. And if you leave 21 clean, he's going to make a boatload of tackles, obviously.
Going to have Chaz and his brother Sage, who's a Wake Forest who opted out, both go into the draft the same year. 2 brothers. That's going to be a cool experience for the family. 3rd and 6. Book grabs the snap, throws off the back foot, long throw, catch made, but is it enough? Avery Davis gets involved, but doesn't have first down yardage, 4th and a half yard. Trey Morrison was there.
I tell you, on a quick throw like that, another problem with the snap. Corral snaps it again. It keeps hitting himself on the backside and bounces to Book, and that ball needs to be thrown out early.
No way.
He's lucky he got that out.
At the 24-yard line? He's got to be trying to draw him offside, right? They can't run a play here in a tie game. Book moves up under center. 7 on the play clock. And there was some movement up there. No surprise. Both sides pointing at the other side.
The right guard, Lugg, moved. I just don't know if he was drawn off.
You figured that's what they're going to try to do. That's a gamble you can't take in a tie game.
Of course.
It's a conversation here. Whose fault was it?
Offside. defense.
Wow.
Jumped forward, causing the offensive line to react. 5-yard penalty, result in a penalty. First down.
So Kelly's tactic works. 5-yard penalty.
Right in the middle. Unbelievable. I'm with you. I mean, I think everybody's thinking there's no way, right? Inside their own territory, deep in their own territory. I mean, I know teams, that's become a thing now with analytics to go for it, but not at your own 24.
No, not in a tie game.
Right. Surprised they jumped.
They try to bring some pressure on first down. Book backpedals again, and the throw is behind Skoranek, so they heat up the pocket, and the throw is off target.
Well, just by shooting that gum on the blitz right here, watch Ian Book get uncomfortable, and then he starts dancing. He feels that blitz, he backpedals, and then just throws it off of his back foot. And that's going to affect your accuracy. See him on the balls of his feet, and then he just kind of flips it with his arm as he's falling back. And now he's got the arm strength and athletic ability to do that. But I think he had the time to get his feet back down and try to make an accurate throw.
A lot of bad things can happen when you do that. Over the middle off your back foot. They fake it to Williams. This is Book on the run. Sideline. Now there's Skoranek who's got it. They gave him a little cushion, and he collects it and gets to midfield.
That's a good call to get him outside. You've got Tremble coming right here who's going to be out in the flat. There's Skoranek working himself. Now you got, this is where he's dangerous because of the ability to run and throw, and eventually he just dumps it out to 11, who picks up huge yards. Nobody there after the catch.
Mismatch against Chris Collins, the linebacker. Ball at midfield. First down throw. Tremble. Well defended there. They tried to thread the ball into double coverage. Pass broken up.
Boy, McMichael does a good job of coming off of Skoranek. Watch one. He's going downfield with 11. Comes off of him with his eyes turned back in zone. Comes back and is able to dislodge that football from the big tight end. But because of where he was in coverage in relation to the receiver, Skoranek allowed him to turn his head back and see the ball thrown.
Michael, the Clemson transfer, they get him back, as you pointed out this week. It's been important. Book on second down, backpedals, escapes again, and just heaves way over the head of Mayer. Third and long now.
Yeah, it's really hard to make a guy who's 28-3 as a starter be back there and being unsure. We came into this game talking about, how about Ian Book? I'm telling you now, these last 3 or 4 games, it's the best he's played in his whole career. He's playing in rhythm. He's just letting it go. He's playing free and loose. Well, we're not seeing that tonight. So let's give the credit to the defense in making him hold the football and making him unsure.
Among active FBS quarterbacks, only Trevor Lawrence has a better career winning percentage than Book. 3rd and 10, short throw. Mayer's got it, and he's got a first down yardage. Spun down at the 35 by Conley. Now the beginning to get the freshman tight end involved.
Yeah, true freshman against true freshman right here. And, you know, I think Ian Book's gotten to a point when he gets to 3rd down in the red zone. 87's, even though he's a young freshman, he's the first guy he's looking for. And I can tell you as a quarterback, there's nothing better than a big tight end with soft hands in those 3rd down situations. You start to kind of err on the side and looking his way because you know he's reliable and he's a big target.
When they start calling you Baby Gronk and you're a true freshman, that's a pretty high compliment as a tight end, right?
No doubt.
You should have a great career at Notre Dame. Book again looking to throw on the move, escaping, and has to just fire it into the bench. Heavy pressure from Trey Morrison.
Again, Jay Bateman dialing up things. He said he wanted to be multiple. He said the most important thing coming in against a quarterback that's played this many games is we've got to give him different looks, whether it's blitzing, show blitz, go to zone, anything we can do. And as you see, he came out there, and that's where he's so effective. He had no one open. Everybody covered, and eventually he's holding on to it, and the coverage does their job again.
12th play of a time-consuming Irish drive. Book lofted downfield, and out comes the flag. Joe Wilkins interfered with by Tony Grimes.
And Grimes, again, is the young man who's...
Defense, number 20, 15-yard penalty, automatic, First down.
He just does not do a good job of turning and finding the football. And he's in pretty good, he's in phase here. Then now all of a sudden he gets separation. Wilkins is able to get a step or two on him, but he just never is able to turn and find the ball, and he runs over top of Wilkins for an easy call for the official.
Number 1 rated corner in the recruiting class. Again, should be in high school. It's a big ask to be out there, but you can see his talent and the trust they have in him.
And now they're ISOing him. Now they're going after him. And again, he's got a bright future, but as a high school senior on the field, you're wondering, why is he playing?
What's he thinking mentally out there, Kirk, at this point?
Well,
you're right. He knows they're beginning to pick on him.
Yeah, but if you're the number 1 ranked corner in the senior class this year, you're confident. You feel that you can be out there. They've eased him in this year because in Virginia Beach they didn't allow him to play high school football. He opted to come out. He took all the classes that he needed and decided to come out early and play in college football. He's thinking, I can make a play. I mean, corners have to have a very short memory. He's got ability.
Tight ends roll to the right. Skoranek on the end around, and he will score standing up. Pure power football. The Irish run behind big bodies, and it's a 97-yard touchdown drive to claim the lead.
And Tremble and Brock Wright lead the way. Watch those tight ends on the right. Jet sweep, just a quick handoff here. They think that Williams may be getting it, but see the freshman, 87, Mayer makes a nice block, and of course 24 Tremble downfield with another great block.
Beautiful mix in that drive that chewed up 5:22. So take the lead, check. Touchdown, check. Take time away from Howell. That's a perfect Ryan Kelly drive. Big fella's on the edge. Not much you can do about that. Jay Bateman knew it was coming, but Skoranek just sachets into the end zone. Irish up 7. First rushing touchdown here at Notre Dame for the former Wildcat, the man who went out to California during the lockdown and ran routes for Ian Book in Book's home state. That was a smart thing to do.
Brilliant. Northwestern guy, right?
Yeah, smart. Let me get in with the quarterback of my new team. If I have to travel to California in a quarantine, who cares?
Whatever it takes. I'm in.
Now, this underdog Carolina team will have to answer down 7 midway third quarter in Chapel Hill. Today's biggest moments of the game brought to you by Samsung QLED TV. Heels came out, beautiful balance, 2 scoring drives. Emery Simmons, his 2nd career touchdown. And then the Irish answer, diving touchdown by Kyron Williams. And then Notre Dame, the first offense to overcome 4 field position today. Skoranek with the end around behind those tight ends, 97-yard march. So this Carolina offense, Kirk's been on the sidelines for quite a while.
Yep.
Got to regain the rhythm quickly here.
And Notre Dame's been doing a lot of this. Leofau, the young freshman, and Drew White. A lot of downhill aggressiveness from these backers against this Carolina run game. Here they come.
Howell trying to escape, and he can't. Your guy Leofau just came barreling into the backfield.
I mean, this guy is really emerging right before our eyes. This is the drive chart for North Carolina. You can see how they started. 7 in a touchdown, 7 plays, another touchdown. We thought, look out, this has a chance of a shootout. And look at Clark Lee. Look at the adjustments, and look what has happened to North Carolina in this explosive offense. Right now at the line of scrimmage, they're losing, and those backers have a lot to do with it.
Behind the sticks here. 2nd and 12.
Obviously pressure here. Now he may be getting out of it.
After a play like that, they cannot run the tempo that they hope to.
He's staying.
Williams fights hard. Good work to create a 3rd and 5. Owusu Koromoa tackled him.
If you watch North Carolina play all year, it's if they can't run the ball, they're not going to win football games. Mac Brown talked all week this week about the 2 times we got outrushed. We lost both games against Florida State and Virginia. We've got to be able to run the ball, and we've got to win the line of scrimmage, even though Notre Dame has talent. And if we can't do that, it takes us away from our run-pass option game and our vertical passing game.
Identical averages on the ground for these two offenses coming in at 234, but the Irish have about doubled up the Tar Heels in that department today. Backpedaling on 3rd and 5, and it's over the head of Williams, who had space and would have had a first down, but the pressure had an impact.
Yeah, again, the pressure gets to him, and even though you can't come up with a sack, just by getting a pressure right here, getting around and getting into his face, it gets him where he's uncomfortable. He has to go over top with a big defensive lineman, and now the ball sails on him.
And the miss on an easy throw like that magnified in importance, because Notre Dame's offense has got a rhythm going to get the football back. And here's a rare punt return by Salerno. First time we've seen a punt brought back. Tackled at the 30. 5:25 in the third. Book back to work up a touchdown. Sunday NFL Countdown, one-on-ones with Kyler Murray and Phillip Rivers. Peyton gets a beast mode lesson from Marshawn Lynch. And on Monday night, Steve Levy, Brian Griese, Louis Riddick will be in Philly with the Eagles with 3 wins, very much in the division race. 4-7 Washington is atop the division. So Wilson and the Hawks tied with the Rams atop the NFC West. Book looking to throw on first down, took a peek downfield, and now he will launch for McKinley, who's got it. And he's dragged down inside the 20 by Kyler McMichael. A deep strike to start the drive.
Notre Dame's identity is their physicality. They run 62% of the time, but when they do take shots, they want to hit them. They get one-on-one chances because of that run game, and they field it with the size of these receivers. Notice how Ian Book puts it way up in the air where the receiver can go up and make a play on it.
McKinley has been the man tonight for this receiving core for Notre Dame. 53-yard gain. Now they flip it to Tremble, and that's a 1-yard gain. Katie?
Well, Jay Bateman was irate over here on North Carolina's sidelines after Notre Dame's last touchdown. He threw a folding chair and then broke a clipboard before composing. I'm talking with Tony Grimes. He said, just don't be scared. Don't be scared out there. Trust yourself in the moment.
Ray Bly, the Hall of Famer, the 4th DB coach that these veteran Tar Heel defensive backs have had in their career.
Right now, they're not locating the ball. They're getting a step or two behind these bigger receivers and playing catch-up.
Chris Tyree in the game. Book from the pocket is blitzed. Lofts it out of bounds. So he throws a folding chair and breaks a clipboard over there, Coach Bateman. Look out.
He's getting fired up. He's getting fired up, and this time we've seen Notre Dame blitzing those linebackers. This time it's Surratt, and without Kyron Williams in there, he goes right by Chris Tyree and is able to apply the pressure. I'm so used to seeing 23 pick up all those blitzes. Surratt went right by Tyree.
Does make a difference. What running back is in the game. It's still Tyree in for Williams on this 3rd and 9 as the Irish try to cash this red zone trip into 7, not 3.
Here he is with the bigger receiver against Grimes.
Book takes off, lost his balance early in the run, stumbles forward, and is stopped well short of the marker at the 14. 4th down.
And Brian Kelly just calling the quarterback draw there, trying to see if they can get Carolina out of place and out of position rather, and see Book, who's very, very good runner, can find a crease, but even if he didn't slip, I think Carolina holds him short. Notre Dame chance to make it a 2-possession game.
Here comes Doerer again. Good from 32 in the first half. This from dead center. See if it goes right to left off the foot, Kirk.
How about end over end?
Whoa, he pushed it. A complete shank and a miss, and it's still a 7-point game for the kicker coming back to his home state.
Oh, okay, I thought they were talking about he was pushed into the kicker.
Yep, no flag.
No flag. Good hold. There's Grimes getting airborne. I don't know why he just pushed it. You know, you have to talk to Mike Black, who's your spotter and former kicker, about whether he rushed that or what, but it was a perfect snap and hold.
And Mike thinks that your guy Grimes distracted him and he kind of rushed it
by going
the head up pretty quickly. Tried to sell something at the end, but nobody was buying it. That is a crucial miss at an empty red zone trip for Notre Dame.
Sometimes, you know, a field goal that you assume is going to be good and the kicker misses it, sometimes that can provide a spark, you know, and change the momentum.
Absolutely. Looked like Carolina was going to be down double digits. Bateman still trying to work things out with that defense. The Irish did move it 57 yards. Howell and the heels trying to get the rhythm back now. Carter makes a cut and jumps over a man, barrels out, good run to the 36 before Usu Koromora got him.
A better job of giving him a little bit of room to work with, and he's able to accelerate. You know, that's the thing with these two backs, especially with Carter. If he can get through that initial surge, he gets upfield.
That's the kind of play that can let them crank the tempo, and they do it. Carter's got it again. Again makes another cut. Leans for 5.
Again, the running game, it's everything. It's everything to every offense, but especially to this offense, because they like to be able to throw off of that. Not just play action, but their run-pass option, which puts the backers and safeties in a tough spot because they got to get up and help against the run, and next thing you know, he pulls it and can throw it.
That ball batted at the line. Dalen Hayes looks like he got a piece of it off the edge.
They love to blitz from the field and then drop Dalen Hayes out here as a changeup. Just a different look. You know, it's a big defensive end, but athletic enough to be able to drop in the flat. That time he didn't necessarily get out into the flat, but he was there to be able to help out. Looked like Tungabailoa Amosa also with his hand up there to knock it down.
Tar Heels 2 of 7 on third down today. Need 5 here. Williams won't get there. Could not turn the corner and escape. Ogundeji, and it's 4th down.
How about the speed? Ogundeji, are you kidding me? Watch him get outside. I thought once Notre Dame got outflanked right there, Dalen Hayes gets inside, gets squeezed. I thought you might see the speed of Williams be able to get to the corner, but nothing at all.
Hey, man, few tacklers they've been able to do this season what Ogundeji did right there. Get Williams down in space for no gain with ease. So Kiernan on the punt. It's a short punt, high with backspin, and effective because it bounces again and rolls down. So Notre Dame, one more time, is backed up. They'll go back to work, up by 7. Well, Tuesday, the CFP Top 25 show presented by Capital One will reflect the results of this weekend's games. Auburn, Alabama. So these are your picks, pretty much putting Notre Dame in a different, or Ohio State, Clemson in a different position.
I would have Clemson at 3. They were asking me who I think could potentially end up the 4 teams, and I think it has a chance to be those 4 as we sit here right now. Still so much football to be played. Notre Dame, you know, we get so excited about the potential Notre Dame-Clemson rematch. Notre Dame still has to go to Wake Forest, and they've shown an ability to be a team that can score.
All State presenting those rankings. Notre Dame, you know, there's a lot of talk about the fact that even if they lose this game, if they take care of Syracuse and Wake.
Offense, number 88, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Would get back to the ACC championship game. Very likely a rematch with Clemson. They could lose this one. If you beat Clemson again, I mean, you're going to be in the bracket.
Yeah,
right?
I think the bigger mystery is if they went out and go to Charlotte unblemished, lose, if they were to lose to Clemson in that rematch.
Why would the score matter, for instance?
I don't know. I don't know. I think you're looking at them versus all these other teams. They would have a win against the #1 ranked team. I think if they get there undefeated, it's hard to imagine them not going, whether they win or lose.
Williams on the pitch, tries to get the edge. Now we'll cut it back and try to bull, but Chaz Surratt got him in a bear hug along with Taylor. 2nd down and 13 now.
Chaz Surratt on the tackle for the Tar Heels.
Hard to get out of the tackle is Surratt. You say a good tackler for an ex-quarterback. He was a good tackler, period, right?
Yeah, and he really runs sideline to sideline. What I like, I mean, again, this guy's a former quarterback. 7 starts in his career before he flipped over. And he can get sideline to sideline, but he also can fill in between the tackles. And he can also play in coverage.
Todd McShay's number 42 rated player on the draft board, of course, which would put him middle part of round 2. There's another false start on Notre Dame. They're going the wrong direction here, making the field position even worse.
Offense, number 3, half the distance to the goal.
Second time in this series, a receiver eager to get out of the blocks. Cost him another penalty.
Ball back at the 4 now, 2nd and 17.
They're sticking with Grimes. He's up at the top.
Blitzed. Escapes the end zone. Little underhand flip to Skoranek. You see the improv from the quarterback again. He's at the 11.
Again, I keep saying, little backyard football for Ian Book. Just flips it. We were seeing Doug Flutie do this back in the day, where people at home sometimes think, you know, he can't do that. What's he doing flipping the ball like this? You can do that behind the line, a little flip. Almost got behind Skoranek and gave Carolina McMichael a chance to get his hands on the ball.
Sure did. Good thing that Skoranek has a nice catch radius. That was a risky pass from that angle, wasn't it? Final seconds of the 3rd quarter, 3rd and 10. 3-man rush. Book's got time, but nobody open. A long way to go to get there with his legs. He doesn't make it. He is knocked out of bounds. No flag on the near sideline here, and it'll be 4th down.
You know, I think Jay Bateman intentionally forced Book to his right. Watch what Surratt does here. He's a spy on 3rd down to prevent the scramble. Actually, it's his backer. See how he steps up, forces him to go out this way, where they've got more coverage, and he's got nowhere to go with the ball. So a good job by Carolina dictating things on that 3rd down.
Irish punt coming up here. End of 3. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station.
Jay Bramlett on the punt for Notre Dame.
Beginning of the 4th quarter, Bramlett's had a terrific day punting for Notre Dame, but he's trying to prevent Naz Newsome from creating good field position. It's a returnable punt, but he backs up, doesn't field it on the fly, and that's a mistake, and it allows the ball to roll all the way down to the 28-yard line.
North Carolina is going to try to figure out this offense, because Notre Dame and Clark Lee have made some big adjustments that have worked out. And that's attacking the line of scrimmage with the linebackers. We've seen Drew White. We've seen Leofau, the freshman. And there's just nowhere to go for these backs. And so I think what you're finding North Carolina in a tough spot is, how can they make them pay for that? I'd say maybe trying to hit some quick slants or throws in behind where those backers are, where they're leaving, the area that they're leaving by blitzing, but you got tight coverage on the outside. Is it?
Carter, short gain. Mack Brown was hoping for this. Hang with the Irish, get it into the 4th quarter, where no team in the country has been better in the 4th quarter this season or in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
They've been stalling. You can see what's happened lately, or those punts.
Yeah, in the first 2 drives, and you see the 3 possessions in the second half, 3 straight punts. But Mack told us, I don't know how many times on that call, if we can get to the 4th quarter and we're within that possession, we'll feel good about where we are and having a chance to pull it out. This team's done that all year.
They're plus 64 scoring margin in the 4th quarter. 2nd down, catch made. Newsome uttered out at the 30, so short gain. It'll be 3rd and long. It's really been a function of the fact that their tempo wears down opponents. That Howell is such an even-tempered, cool customer. He's been darn near flawless in the 4th quarter as a passer in his career.
The problem is the jerseys on the other side of the line of scrimmage right now. You can look at those numbers, but at the same time, this is a different deal tonight. This is not the tempo and wearing down a defense feel at all in this game.
Howell trying to escape, does, but will. That special package stops him, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, and Ogundeji is really making his presence be felt. He's lined up on the offensive's left, does a little twist to come inside, almost right there. He gets his hand on the jersey of Sam Howell, but the backers are getting a lot of the attention, making a lot of the plays. But man, this defensive line with different twists, getting one-on-one matchups and winning. Carolina off the field again.
Kiernan with the punt. Tierney will backpedal and make a fair catch. That's an excellent punt, and it backs Notre Dame up to the 15. 12:50 to play. 49 yards on that punt. Tomorrow night, College Station. Aggies going to keep their playoff hopes alive. LSU trying to avoid being a defending national champion to finish with a losing record the following season. Coming at 3-3, 7 Eastern. Also on the ESPN app. Frustrating second half for Sam Howell. 4 punts for Carolina after the break, and the Irish now with a 7-point lead. Want to continue to grind on the clock and overpower that Tar Heel front.
Done a pretty good job, on Kyron Williams. He's averaging just over 3 yards a carry tonight, and not a lot of room to run, with that big offensive line. And again, we keep talking about Jared Patterson and Tommy Kramer not being in there. Zeke Correll at center, Josh Lugg at right guard, but give Carolina a lot of credit for holding Kyron Williams so far in check.
Yeah, barely half what he typically averages per carry on the season. They fake it to him, and Book has time. They flip it to Williams in the flat, and they're looking for him. They don't get him down to the ground. He bounced off Gemmel and spins for a short gain. Third down coming up.
Yeah, that's called leveraging the football right there. Chris Collins got out there. Gemmel gets out there as well. The 2 defenders plus the boundary. I like your odds, right? You got the sideline, you got 44, and you got 17. He needs to come down, right? And that's another third down.
Yep, Irish just 2 of 8. If this place were full, it'd be roaring right now. It's a shame that you don't have the typical atmosphere for what has been a terrific battle. Buck pressured, flushed, chased, an underhanded flip into traffic. Are you kidding me? I mean, it works out as Mayer makes the catch. He just flung it in the air. There were defenders everywhere.
And it floated forever. First of all, they get him again in coverage. Nowhere to go with the ball. He's got to try to create. Watch this. Airborne, back against the grain, against his body. I don't know if anybody can make that play other than 12 for Notre Dame.
I don't know if anybody wants to.
I know, but it somehow lands in the true freshman's hands. By the way, on a critical third down in the fourth quarter.
There are so many robotic quarterbacks around the country. It's fun to watch a dude who's got those improvisational skills. You just never know every snap what Ian Book is going to do out there.
Did that just happen?
That's a 7-point game. Your undefeated season's on the line.
Watch this. I mean, it's not only that. His arm gets hit as he flips it. Surratt hits him right there, and he still somehow has enough on it to float over a couple defenders. And just close the hair time on that.
Mayer didn't even look surprised. I've seen this. This could happen.
That's what he does.
2nd and 7. Big bodies bunched to the left of the formation. Different look. And now Tremble comes in motion. And they'll have to spend a timeout. The play clock was winding down. Fun stuff here as Book tries to keep this drive alive and protect a 7-point lead. 10:03 to play.
College football on ABC is presented by PlayStation 5. Play has no limits. And in part by Pacific Life. More than 150 years strong. Trust in your tomorrow.
Quarterback comparison on the Pacific Life game summary. Howell being held way below his average, 176 passing. And Book with the confidence of a guy who's gone 234 consecutive attempts without a pick. Equals the streak of Sam Hartman at Wake Forest. So I guess that's when you got a streak like that, Kirk, you can just fling it into traffic.
Yeah.
Sidearm.
This is the best defensive effort I've seen against Sam Howell, maybe in his career. I can't remember. It's still 10 minutes to go. But
pressure off the edge. Book rolls to his right and slings it along the sideline. Skoranek works back, makes the catch. First down at the 45.
The game of college football and quarterback play, it's so much where you're off platform. And maybe worth a look to see if he stepped out of bounds, working back. But receivers are doing scramble drills. Quarterbacks are in a pocket and then getting out away from trouble, and no more than Ian Book. And receivers have got to be able to recognize that and do a good job of trying to give their quarterback a target.
Williams in the slot to the right. Now he'll motion back in.
The pass was completed for a first down. The previous play is under further review.
Spotted it, Kirk. Let's see if Skoranek went out of bounds, then came back.
Yeah, that's all. Obviously, I think he looks like he catches it inbounds. I was thinking more earlier when he worked his way back towards the quarterback.
Not much for this ACC replay crew to do so far, but there's still time. Let's take a break as they review it. Replay reverses the ruling of catch. For you stickers, it's an illegal touching. He went out of bounds and didn't real set. It's the same thing as an incomplete pass.
You can see the divot there in his left foot out of bounds.
So third down. You need about 7. Here comes the pressure. Book lofting it. Davis over his hand. They kept Avery Davis, speedy slot receiver, in check today. Conley was in coverage. It's fourth down.
And Fox does a good job off to the left of Ian Book of getting enough pressure on him. But it looked like, Avery Davis gets the separation that he needed to, but not a very high percentage throw there on third down and 7.
Sometimes it looks so easy. Davis on a mismatch, running free in secondaries. Boy, did he hurt Clemson. Has not had a big game against this Tar Heel defense. Still looking to make an impact play. Ramlett, not his best. And fair caught at the 33-yard line by Newsome. Tomorrow, the ACC Network, 3 conference football games at noon. NC State will take on Syracuse. The next opponent for Notre Dame, by the way, next Saturday in South Bend. Louisville and BC at 4. And in prime time, Virginia and Florida State down in Tallahassee. Get ACCN.com for instant access.
Still have 9-10 to go in this game, but if we were to give game balls out up to this point, I think both defensive coordinators and their adjustments, Jay Bateman keeping the Carolina team in position to still be within striking distance with the way his defense is played.
Play action on first down. Howell wanted to take a downfield shot, just flips it. One-handed grab by Williams, who's knocked down after a 2-yard gain. The great LeBron James is enjoying this game. Damn good. He's right. We've waited all season, my friend, for a game that's damn good into the fourth quarter.
LeBron is obviously known for his ability to hoop, but don't mess with his knowledge in football. He was an all-state football player, wide receiver at Akron, St. Vincent, St. Mary.
He's earned some time off to kick his feet up and watch some football. In traffic, zipped across the middle. Yami Brown makes the catch and takes a seat right there. They'll move the 6 to the 46.
And see, there you go. There's that spot between those backers. Now, the backers didn't come. They didn't blitz, but they separated, and it created a nice void there behind them. I thought they may try to attack there a little bit more than they have, but they found it that time for a big first down.
5th catch for Brown. Had the one big play in the first half, 2 short catches. In the flat, Newsome, helped by a block, scoots for a nice first down gain into Notre Dame territory.
That's just positive yards, and that's what really Sam Howell is known for. If he sees leverage to his advantage, that's a run play. I mean, that play was designed to run the football to Javonte Williams, but he looks out, sees that his slot receiver's got an angle and he can get some positive yards, and instead of running for it, why not take it the easy way?
Pointed out, it's been a very frustrating second half for Howell in this offense. They can erase all of that if they can find the end zone here and tie the game. Beginning to find some rhythm again. It's Brown again, out of bounds, first down.
Again, he sees that McLeod is off by about 6 to 8 yards, just takes it. I mean, you've got offensive linemen, when you watch North Carolina play, they'll be 5 yards, 8 yards downfield blocking a run, and the quarterback just aborts it and flips it out and throws it. They rarely get called for linemen downfield either.
Drives defensive coordinators crazy. Howell zips it. That was inaccurate behind Brown that time. Beginning to really lock in on number 2. That was not a good throw.
No, and you know, that's a mix-up where a receiver reads man-to-man and keeps running, and the quarterback reads zone, and he wants Brown to settle down, and he anticipates that he will. Those two typically are on the same page. such great history together these last couple years. That time just a miscommunication, not just a misfire.
Williams in motion. Now looking to run all the way, but they snuffed it out. Drew White met him right at the line of scrimmage.
Man, I love the way Drew White is playing tonight. A linebacker in the middle for Notre Dame. Watch how sudden he is. Watch how he's just reading. He's trying to figure out what's going on. They're going to a quick screen. No, quarterback draw, and you could see he pulls the trigger quickly and makes a great play in space.
3rd down and long. Irish defense showing why they're one of the best in the country in that department. Heels have not converted a 3rd down in the second half. Howell could have run early, hesitated, and then it closed down. Tagovailoa Amosa stops him, and it's 4th down.
And give the coverage downfield an assist, because he wanted to throw the ball to his left to his guy Brown, but he doesn't get separation. By the time he does, Howell's just running for his life. All they did was rush 4. And it keeps everybody else's eyes on the football. And now we got a penalty here well after the play, obviously. 2 players jawing each other.
Been a very sportsmanlike game up to this point, but the intensity turned up in the final 7 minutes. This is a crucial call.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 2 of North Carolina. 15-yard penalty. That is number 2's first unsportsmanlike conduct of the game. 4th down.
Not as damaging to North Carolina. It'll back them up for the punt. Let's take a look.
Well, they see at the top De'Ami Brown getting into it with Crawford, and then he just starts jawing with him. And then right here, you can see, I don't blame him, Houston Griffith coming over to defend his guy, and then he starts jawing with him. So a little out of character and frustration there showing by De'Ami Brown.
Looked like an accidental collision with Crawford. Maybe he didn't think so.
There was a lot of chirping going on before that replay.
Once again, the effective line drive punt, a favorable roll. North Carolina gets the football back. Today's Crunch Time brought to you by Cheez-It. The improvisational skills of Ian Book, running around and create time. Touchdown pass there. Spinning, twisting, maneuvering, frustrating a defense.
Yeah, I mean, this is what he's known for, but he's had to do a little bit more of it tonight, and that's the all-timer right there, even for Ian Book.
Well, the Irish will try to ground and pound and chew clock, and a good start to the drive as Kyron Williams is in the clear. Tried to deliver one of those stiff arms. Morrison ushers them out. That's a monstrous game.
Watch Tommy Tremble right here just kind of open this up. You got the vision by Williams. Now he's got blocks downfield. Skoranek does a nice job just kind of shielding the young freshman Grimes. And then it's just about speed, getting in the open field. But a good job at the initial point attack.
You could almost feel the pain on the Carolina side, giving the ball back that time. They chewed up about 3.5 minutes. Had some rhythm on the drive, but then it broke down. The 5th Irish sack stalled it. And now Notre Dame in Carolina territory. You'll see a steady diet at number 23 here.
They've had to rely on this defense better part of 2.5 quarters to just try to keep them in there, just trying to hang in there. They had a missed field goal, a short field goal by Notre Dame, but Notre Dame has not had a lot of opportunities because of the way Jay Bateman and this defense has played.
If I told you, Kirk, that after the first 2 Carolina possessions, they had 2 touchdowns, that Notre Dame was going to hold them to a field goal the rest of the game, would you have believed?
No. And it's really not necessarily a knock on Notre Dame. It's more of respect that you have for Sam Howell and the receivers and the backs they have. But man, it's been an impressive performance up to this point by the Irish defense.
They use all of the play clock. High percentage so to McKinley. Doesn't really want to get out of bounds. And they'll be tackled along the sideline. It's another first down, though.
Late in the game like this, really test the will. You know, and against a Notre Dame team that's mature and mentally and physically tough, you know, you got to, if you're Carolina's young defense, you just got to keep trying to find a way to grind. Because Notre Dame, this is where they can close you out if they're able to put points up here.
At this point, even a field goal, make it double digits, would be important. But remember, Dorr has been a little shaky. Missed a chip shot earlier. Williams, stiff arm, creates space, and he'll be dragged down. Another first down inside the 20 by Surratt and McMichael.
Remember, you talked about how North Carolina can wear you down. This Notre Dame offense can wear you down too with these tight ends. Nice job. Even Skoranek getting involved as a big receiver, but the tight ends open it up. And you get a crease into that defense with Kyron Williams again. You know, they're starting to win that time of possession battle. They're starting to lean on this Carolina team. And when you lean on a team physically, it definitely affects them emotionally and mentally too.
Known as the 4-minute offense, right? It could be a priceless thing in football. If you can have an effective 4-minute offense, it is so crucial in these close games. Another first down run for Williams. He's got some space on the right. Falls forward, gets 5.
Didn't you think it was interesting on our Zoom this week that Brian Kelly said we've kind of found our pathway in building our program? Offensive linemen, tight ends. If you can find great backs, obviously receivers that are big and rangy, like a Claypool last year, like a Miles Boykin, like what they have this year.
There's a great talk because over the years, Kirk, we've heard the evolution of their kind of game plan to join the elite. First of all, they were lacking in the trenches, right? Alabama ran them over in the championship game loss.
Yeah, and I think playing great defense to go along with some of those attributes on offense. But this team also has, I think, a different mindset than some of these previous Notre Dame teams have had for Brian Kelly.
No doubt. Williams again. Then it was how many electric playmakers can we recruit to kind of match Alabama and Clemson? Almost impossible to do. But this formula, they feel like they can sustain this for a long time.
Yeah, because they're going to go get some of the great linemen. They're going to go get the tight ends, get a heady quarterback that's going to be a guy that can make plays and be a distributor. And they don't have to get the 5-star all-world receiver. They may get one here or there, but they're more about trying to find big bodies like they have this year with McKinley and Skoranek, those 6'2", 6'3", 6'4 receivers.
And shooting 4:15 and counting. Mack Brown has all 3 timeouts, electing not to use them here. And the Irish will just let the play clock wind down and spend one of their timeouts before this 3rd and 5 play. Carolina lost a lot of close games last year in Mack Brown's first. Seems like every game was close. They had 9 decided by 7 or less last year. Lost 6 of the 9. They're getting better at that department. But this is a little bit familiar to North Carolina fans, and a chance to make a real landmark statement game. A lot to like about the performance, but they may come up just short again.
Yeah, but I know you and I are big fans of Mack Brown, you know, not just what he did in Austin, going way back to when he was at Carolina. He's won everywhere he's been, and enjoyed him at ESPN for 5 years, and we were all thrilled when he decided to get back into coaching, especially coming back here to Chapel Hill. And how about the first season, those big wins against South Carolina and Miami, got his kids to really buy into his new philosophy and his new energy. But you're right, they've been close. Tough, just can't quite close the door in some of these bigger games. Still growing, still kind of learning.
No doubt, and recruiting very well.
Yeah.
Book looking to throw for it on 3rd and 5. Pitch, catch, dive. Takis, the seldom used tight end as a receiver, gets a chance to catch a pass. Spotted out at the 2, all smiles down there.
Give the big fella the touchdown.
He goes catch of the year.
I thought he might get that one. But a great call. The progressive pylon cam shows he's just short. I don't know if they'll take a peek at that or not, but I love the call there, Chris, on 3rd down. Again, the Athletikian book off of play action.
Is under further review.
The hand comes down on the paint before the ball hits the pylon. I think they're going to improve the spot. They've got the ball spotted outside the 2.
Yeah.
This will move it a lot closer to the goal line.
Well, let's see. Let's take a close look there.
Big tall guy out of Naples, Florida. You got this great tight end room, right? You got Mayer, who's the freaky freshman, Trimble, the ferocious leader there, Brock Wright down to the steady veteran. Takis we never call his name. it's a crowded tight end position, and it's cool to see him kind of make a play on a 3rd and 5.
How about the group of, Cole Kmet obviously left and went into the NFL. They lost their top couple receivers. Claypool, who's doing amazing things. Fink, who is also, I think, in the NFL on a practice squad.
Yep.
So that was a position that they really didn't know about, talking about more about receiver when they came into this year. But the tight ends in the receiver group have really emerged.
And there's no guy like Claypool who's 6'4", going to run a 4.40 with a 40-inch vertical.
Review,
they don't have that kind of a specimen.
Touched out of bounds when the ball was at the 1/2 yard line. The ball will be moved to the 1/2 yard line, be 1st and goal.
Not quite the touchdown, but as we suspected, the spot has improved, and the ball is going to be about a football and a half length away from the goal line.
3rd down, you see the defense chasing, and you get Ian Book out there. You got a receiver out in the flat, another receiver in the back of the end zone, another one dragging from the backside, and someone's going to be open, or he can run it. Gives him a lot of different options.
Actually helpful for Notre Dame as they try to salt this game away that he didn't get in. They can use even more clock, a few more seconds before the likely touchdown. College football playoff rankings brought to you by Allstate. Iron Bowl college game day is going to be there tomorrow morning. What are the upset chances for Bo Nix and the Tigers in Tuscaloosa, do you think?
Of course, you have Nick Saban, who is out with testing positive with COVID. Sarkisian's Coach Sark steps in as the interim coach for this game. Auburn's shown some glimpses, but I like Alabama's chances personally in that game.
Clemson against Pittsburgh, 3:30 on ABC. If the Panthers could upset Clemson, that would guarantee, officially clinch an ACC championship game spot for Notre Dame. Unlikely to happen, you think? Narduzzi and company pulling the shocker. I mean, Clemson's got to be pleased can we get back on the field, especially Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, for
waiting
sure.
forever.
For sure. Could be a last home game for ETN and Trevor Lawrence.
Talked about this could be the first of 3 trips by Notre Dame to this state. A couple weeks it's Wake Forest just down the road, Winston-Salem, and of course about 2 hours away from here in Charlotte, scene of the ACC championship game. And Notre Dame players admitted, Kirk, already thinking about round 2 against the Tigers. 1st and goal, Williams, easy, leans forward, and the Irish wear down the Carolina defense. Another marathon march, that time 89 yards after the 97-yard touchdown drive earlier.
Yeah, this is what they wanted to do. Like I said, Carolina's used to winning the 4th quarter because of tempo and wearing teams down. But not tonight. They only ran 53 snaps. Notre Dame is fresh on defense, and they are the ones wearing down North Carolina with their style, now up to 480 yards of offense.
The 200-yard rushing game, and they've held the Tar Heels to just 92. Notre Dame defense potentially a 6th consecutive game holding the opponent under 100 yards rushing. So let's flash back to that classic fumble return for a touchdown by Owusu Koramoah as ETN coughed it up. It was Williams late with a couple touchdowns. And then this is desperation after back-to-back sacks by the Notre Dame defense. This is the play that ended it. They stormed the field, and the Irish with one of those landmark milestone wins. You beat a #1 team, you live forever. And Book's achievement after the fumble we showed earlier, potentially a crushing mistake, to bounce back from that. He'll have that forever in his life, that victory.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. And that drive, late in the game, like you said. I mean, that's a drive 20, 30 years from now people will be talking about.
80 years from now.
Yeah. Yeah, it was incredible. And I think a lot of people are excited to see round 2. Trevor Lawrence, everyone talks about him not playing in that game, but DJ played pretty well. Really about Tyler Davis and getting the rest of that defense. James Skalski back, Mike Jones, those 3 players in particular will be big for Clemson in that game.
Another reminder, LSU A&M on ESPN, 7 Eastern, 6 Central, also on the ESPN app. Yeah, Clemson fans focusing on that. But Uiagalelei throw for like 400 yards.
Yeah.
What more are you going to get from the quarterback position if you play round 2? The defense is what they
That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
Davis,
sure.
and Skalski, Mike Jones. Bear just reminding me, it's a good point. If you're a fan of anybody outside of the top 4 right now, you are now a Notre Dame fan. You want Notre Dame to win out and knock off Clemson and open the door for the possibility of another team getting in. Because if Notre Dame and Clemson split, I think you'll find the committee will keep them both in the playoff.
Oh, the pass rush for the Irish has been a huge story tonight. Ogundeji with the sack along with Dalen Hayes. Sack 6.
How fitting for it to go that way, the way this defense is played. He's right here on the right tackle. You know, he has great speed, but there he shows power in just pushing Tucker right back into the face of Sam Howell.
It was that pass rush deep into double overtime that eventually made the difference. You just admire defenders, Kirk, that I know they haven't been on the field a whole lot today by typical ACC standards, but to have the stamina and the want to finish games like that with sacks.
Well, I know Clark Lee hoped the defensive line would play well, and they've answered. Ogundeji, I think, has led the way. Dalen Hayes has played well on the other side, and the inside, they've played well. And these backers, Drew White, Lee Uffout, doing a nice job as a freshman, blitzing quite a bit. Been a mismatch up front.
With Carter and Williams, who both averaged more than 100 yards rushing each coming in, have held the heels well under 100 as a team today. Howell with the long throw to Simmons, and it's broken up. And again, 6 consecutive games holding opponents under 100 yards. That 2012 defense that had Nix and Tuitt and Teo, that's the last team in Notre Dame to do that. That was a pretty stout defense until they ran into Alabama.
Right.
You did that every game in Notre Dame that season, I think.
And for people that have just tuned in, maybe in the second half,
every away game anyway.
Kyle Hamilton, who's potentially an All-American safety, who made a lot of plays early in this game, was ejected for targeting, and this defense hasn't missed a beat with him on the sideline. It says a lot about their preparation as a group. We've seen Houston Griffith come in. We've seen DJ Brown come in. Both those young men doing a nice job at safety for Hamilton when he had to check out. Shows the amount of work they do in the mental reps, even though you're a backup.
Do some given their skill.
I think Brian Kelly's got a team that's wired a little differently. There's Brown again getting into some conversation with Notre Dame. But yeah, it's just the Clemson game is where I think everybody went from this Notre Dame team. Can they play with Clemson? And they scored a second play of the game. They went into that game not hoping, like maybe they're hoping to play with Alabama. They weren't hoping to play with Clemson. In their minds, they were going to win the game. And I think they really
been handled easily by the elite teams in playoff games. The Georgia games, close. They showed they belonged with Georgia, the home and away, but couldn't quite get over the finish line.
Yep. Yeah, that Georgia game last year in Athens especially was, I think, showed you that they could play with the elite teams in the country.
Victory formation. Brian Kelly's Irish continue to do what they're supposed to do. 30 consecutive wins as a favorite. 2017 at Stanford, the game we did, that's the last time Notre Dame was upset. Think about that. They come in as about a touchdown favorite and win for a favorite for the 30th consecutive game. Run it to 9-0. Syracuse, a huge mismatch at home next week, and then back to this state to take on Wake Forest, which can be tricky. Ian Book's very first start was here in 2017. He's come a long way since then. His 29th victory as an Irish quarterback. That'll move him among the career leaders of that. He's going to have that record by himself, I think, as of next week.
And a lot of, I mean, some fun moments for him, the way he improvised and played. But Brian Kelly, when they go back and look at this film, to me, it's the defense. The defense and what they did in this game. North Carolina had 298 yards. 298 yards. This North Carolina offense averages 563. I mean, think about that. That's the story of the game to me.
And it looked like after the first couple of drives, Kirk, they were going to get that average.
Yeah.
You talk about Clark Lee. He's one of your favorite defensive coordinators in terms of his acumen and his personality, the way he deals with his players. And I think you're right. The story is Notre Dame's defense. Books, improvisational skills make for fun highlights, but this was all about the Irish defense.
Yeah.
Shutting out Carolina after halftime.
Shut them out in the second half. First 2 drives, boom, 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 and we thought we may have a game that was going to be a shootout. You know, I thought both offenses, although different styles, had a chance to do what they wanted to do. But maybe it was the 2 weeks of preparation for both coordinators on the defensive side. That may have played a part, but, man, tip your cap to Clark Lee and the defense. That is a good North Carolina offense that they just completely outmanned and outperformed and executed.
And then 2 marathon touchdown drives of 97 and 89 yards for the Irish, chewing up ground, chewing up clock, and a couple of touchdowns after halftime. Win it 31-17. To Katie with Brian Kelly.
Coach Kelly, North Carolina scored 2 quick touchdowns to start the game, and then your defense holds them to just a field goal for the remaining portion. What did you think of their efforts?
Oh, it was outstanding. It was kind of like playing triple option. You know, you're off for, almost 10 days, and then the speed of the game, we had to get acclimated. Once we were able to acclimate a little bit, we obviously played very well defensively. After giving up the 2 scores, we kept them to 3 points. So really well done. And then the physicality started to show itself. Ian Book was outstanding. Receivers made plays. We ran the ball late when we had to, run the football. And those 2 long drives obviously ate up a lot of clock and kept them off the field.
Speaking of your quarterback, he escapes, he scrambles, heck, he even flips the ball through traffic on a critical 3rd down. What goes through your mind when he creates something out of nothing?
He's a winner. He's 28-3, and he doesn't get the kind of credit that he deserves. He's a college football quarterback that wins football games, and we try to make too much out of it other than he's a winner, and he won again on the road against a really good football team. Mac Brown's building a great program here.
Thank you for the time. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Katie, thank you. He's 29-3. We can update Brian Kelly's stat, and he is definitely a winner. Kelly's been a winner, too. Gets to 101 victories at Notre Dame. Moves ahead of Holtz, behind only Rockne.
And real quick, I just think Brian Kelly, coaches evolve. And Brian Kelly's evolved as a head coach from where he was early as Notre Dame's head coach to allowing a quarterback the freedom to do things that Ian Book does.
He's evolved in the pressure cookie, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Back to Katie with Ian Book.
Ian, it was a 3rd and 5 situation, critical point in the game.
It's just trust, honestly, and it's just the best team. I'm having so much fun, and I mean, it's a risky play. You don't want to do that a lot, but I trust Mike to get open and find the green grass and make the catch, and we needed that play. It was 3rd down, and we got it, and just want to move the chains.
Tonight marks your 29th win as a starting quarterback at Notre Dame. You're now tied for the most wins with some pretty good quarterbacks that have come through your university. How does that make you feel?
Unbelievable. I mean, it's a dream come true. Just landing, at Notre Dame and playing here, and it's an unbelievable team. I love these guys so much. Couldn't do it without them, and we got some more games we got to win.
One of your first starts was here in 2017, a couple of years ago. How do you feel like you've grown the most to the man that you are now?
Yeah, I remember that day, actually, like it was yesterday. Just football IQ and just getting, more mature, better leadership, and just being on the same page with everybody. Coach Reese has done an unbelievable job of, our preparation, getting us ready, and this team's got no quit, and it's a special team.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
His 29th win, back to the scene where he got his first as a nervous sophomore back in 2017. So it's a 4-way tie, and Book's going to end up surpassing these guys almost certainly next week against Syracuse.
Just the way he even does his interview there with Katie, just a senior, just a guy that if you're a Notre Dame fan, you got to be proud of the way he's really developed and grown. Mental toughness is clearly a great attribute of his.
And his parents, Dad Rick, the ex-cop, Mom Kim, the nurse, only missed 1 game in his college career. That was the last one against BC because no fans were allowed. They make the long trip here to Chapel Hill, and they see something special tonight. Their phones were blowing up, by the way. After that sideways flip, we looked at them in the crowd, and everyone, what is he doing? But it worked.
It worked, man. Everybody's like, cheers, great job.
The Irish stay unbeaten, keep rolling at 9-0. Syracuse, Wake Forest, and the ACC championship game standing between them and the playoff. Tomorrow on ABC, Pac-12 matchup between Utah and Washington, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Game produced by Bill Bonnell, directed by Derek Mobley. For Katie George, Kirk Herbstreit, Bill Lamagnier, our entire crew, I'm Chris Fowler. So long for now from Chapel Hill.